If Lands Could Kill, featuring Knifecity, Ryke, Samhain Crow, and Hot Sauce.
All right, welcome to another episode of If Lands Could Kill. I'm Knifecity.
Samhain Crow.
Hot Sauce.
And we are one man down this week, no surprise. So let's get right to it. Oh yeah, by the way, last week...
Oh, Jesus.
You can't see the air quotes, but we recorded a cast. But unfortunately, it wasn't actually recording.
And it was
Whose
funny.
fault was this?
He was telling, like, what were you doing? You were telling some kind of story or whatever. And, like, in the middle of the story, you look down, and then you just cut yourself off and, like, and we're not recording. It's like, fuck. And we were, like, already late to something, so we're like, all right, whatever. And we all just fucking packed up.
We were like over an hour into the cast. We probably had like 20 minutes left we were going to talk about.
Yeah, we were
Also,
pretty much
son of
wrapping
a
up.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Pretty bad.
So that's why there's no cast, and we're probably...
We're fine there. less crow the better. I just covered up the mic on his side. So.
And that's why there was no cast last week, so we're going to be talking about the past 2 weeks this episode, and we're somewhat flying by the seat of our pants.
Because we already talked about shit, so it's hard to like revamp.
Yeah, I don't even know what I did the previous week. What was I even talking about? I don't even know.
There was some kind of downer thing you talked about, then I upped it with my wife's grandma dying, and then I somehow upped that with some like dog hospital story or something.
Oh, man. If you would have listened to us the last cast, we were hilarious.
Yeah, it was really good. Unfortunately, you'll never hear it.
Yeah, anyways, let's just start off with our weeks. What's up?
Alright, so I really honestly can't remember. There's gotta be some funny shit that happened that last week too. I remember I had a decent little intro, whatever. But anyways, main thing is I am back to work. So like 2 weeks ago, maybe, what is it? I've been at work for a week and a half now. So like 3 weeks ago, I started looking for work, and all that was popping up on like the job list for my union was shit in the desert, working on solar panels, and then working on decommissioning the booby plant.
The nuclear boobs.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, the nuclear boobs, dude. They're fucking...
What is the nuclear booze?
It's the San Onofre power plant, and kind of above Oceanside in San Diego, which is like, well, that's pretty good. It's like an hour and a half from my house or something like that, which sucks fucking balls anyways.
And also,
I'm not trying to drive out there, but yeah, they look like tits.
Yeah, was it the 5?
Yeah, it's up to 5.
So if you're coming down to San Diego, or I guess going either way, right off the freeway, there's these big 2 half circles.
Yeah.
Half spheres, that's probably the right word. Half spheres, just planted each on the ground. And then right on top, right in the center, is this very prominent,
nipple
eraser nipple.
Yeah.
It's not just like a soft little nipple, it's like eraser nipple.
Yeah, it's exactly, and it's a different color. It's like the buildings are tan, and then the tops are a different color, and so it makes it when you're driving down and you've never seen it before, you don't even need to you don't have to go oh, I've heard about that, because you're going to look at it and be like, those things look like giant tits. You will. I mean, it's a guarantee. You don't need to.
The tit landmark of California.
Yeah, it created itself. Nobody had to be, a fucking comedian working on their jokes and then come up with that shit. So, anyways, we had those 2 jobs available, and I was like, nah, we're not doing that shit. So, I took this job, working on this hospital that's getting built in San Diego, and it's like a Kaiser, whatever the fuck, but it's a big ass building, and it's got 900 fucking people working on it, which I've never been on any job in any way like this. This is the biggest job that I know for sure. The company itself has built all kinds of other shit, all kinds of other gigantic stuff like stadiums and stuff like that, and this is still their biggest job of all time. They've never had this many people on one job site. And doing electrical, there are 270 electricians on this job, which is insane. It's fucking a madhouse. I mean, I've been on other hospital jobs and there's 80 electricians, and seeing that the first time I was like, what the fuck, there's so many workers here. So it's a madhouse, but it's very like organized though, like where you have like a lunch area that you all go out to, and you have your they have like all these fold up tables and all this shit like laid out. So it's like very organized or whatever for what they've done, but it is a ridiculous job site. But one thing about it that happened from last week is I got a lead position now.
Already?
Which is pretty sweet. Like it was a pretty quick turnaround where my foreman was just like, he like one morning he's like, so what's up? How's it going up there? And I'm like, what? Like, why the fuck you asking me? Like, there's all these other people you can ask, like, how's it going up there? Like, people that are, like, leading what's going on up there. Yeah. Why the fuck's he asking me? And I'm like, what? It's good.
As far as I know, it's good.
Like, yes, it's okay, I don't know. And he's like, alright, well, here. And he just, like, hand me some set of prints and shit like that. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, he's like, I can tell you want, like, extra work, or you want to do more. So I'm like, okay, that sounds good.
I can tell you want to do more.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, great, let's do that then. So, I mean, it's cool. Because, like, I don't get any more money, but it's still, like, I'm, like, trusted, and I've only been there for, like, I've only worked, like, 8 work days there, and I got, like, the little bump, like, 3 days ago.
Now you have people looking to stab you in the back, like, what the fuck?
Well, people ask me, like, oh, like, how long you been at the job, whatever, and I'm like, Wednesday. And they're like, Wednesday? It's like, oh, you just got here? I'm like, Wednesday. And I'm like, okay, now you can go ahead and go over there and do that work while I sit here and but I'm, like, basically... this is all boring talk, but I don't give a fuck because they're adults and that's what adult shit is. There is,
well, you're taking up the gun, we're taking
the
10-minute gun slot.
Half of this is Ryke's conversation. Yeah. That's what he's saying. So like the little tree for like the construction or basically any job, but like, there's the foreman, which is like running a group of guys, and he's basically the one that like gets all the answers. Like he was the one that like, oh, hey, this thing doesn't fit here, whatever. The print says it does. What do I do? He's the one that goes finds the answer, or whatever. He's the one that like supplies and does all like the ordering for like what he needs, not for like the whole job, but just for like his self, whatever. And then I'm the one that will like be there with the guys the whole time, and also all I do is like layout. So like I go ahead of the guys. Say we're moving like west to east or whatever through a building. I'll go ahead of them while they're working, and I will just start like laying out where things need to go. When I start look at the prints with me or whatever, and I just like mark everything with a fucking Sharpie or paint. I don't know. Or whatever else. You
had that fucking cush office job when I met you, and you came over to Flatiron, did some stuff there. Now I don't know how you keep landing in these like sweet. I don't really got to do shit situations. I tell other people what to do, and I get to like not bust my ass too badly.
Just got to be pretty, dude. If you're pretty,
well, you're not pretty. That's not it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm all right.
His mouth is pretty pretty.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even bring my knee pad in. You know that little foam pad I use?
Yeah, I have.
Which is like the gayest shit ever, but like it is a lifesaver. I haven't brought it yet because I'm just too embarrassed.
I have your other one still.
Okay, by the way. Yeah, I gotta get that shit someday. So yeah, anyways, that's all I'm doing is like, luckily I don't have to like wear my fucking tools. I don't like really work on anything. I just have to like talk to people, see what they need. Like, where do you need this thing to go? And I just like tell them, and then mark it out and move on, which is nice because it's fucking hot.
Yeah.
And you gotta go like huff and puff up ladders all day, and it's like a 7-story building, and sometimes you can't take like, they have like a man lift that's like built on the outside of the building. Sometimes you can't take that, so then you gotta fucking walk up all these flights of stairs, which is awful. Shit. So, luckily I'm not doing too much of that anymore, which is nice. I'm only doing it for 3 days, but still.
Not anymore.
It's already okay. I'm like, oh man, I get to like,
lucky
show
son
up
of
work
a bitch.
and not fucking work as hard. That's great. Let's do that. So, anyways, that's pretty much what happened with that. And that's been taking up most of my time. I don't know, you want to get started with, like, our buddy's house for our,
Sure.
So, like, this last weekend, Saturday, we did, like, this 10-man tournament. It was a sealed pool, all Magic Origins.
That's the thing we did right after we cast it.
Yeah, that's what we were, like, late to, basically. And, so now we can talk about that, which is nice, but not that nice. So we did the sealed pool, and we had, like, they're like, I don't want to say like they're like super novices, but I mean they're like newer players, right? They're not like, they don't like do Magic research all day long or something like that. So, we had a decent chance to do pretty well against them and get our pools together, start playing. We did like 5 rounds or whatever, like winners play winners type shit. And nobody plays the same person twice. And, I just saw the tweet, by the way.
That's we're trying to hold back laughter because
that's pretty funny.
Our followers here is like, okay, so who's in charge of pressing the goddamn record button this week?
While recording?
Recording.
Yeah, he's got fucking perfect timing. This guy.
So, fucking Corey, good for you, man. Interrupt the goddamn cast.
Motherfucker. Getting more shout-outs than he deserves.
I know.
This dick. Oh my god, more interactions.
Great
What's
chauffeur,
happening?
though.
Fuck you. Yeah, you need to stop that. We're casting. Stop.
Okay.
It's not social media.
Yeah, this is not. Getting away with your social. Anyways, so you did that, and then what I drafted? I drafted white black for the first time ever in Origins. I didn't think it was that good, but I had some strong cards.
Well, you had 3 of the goddamn Taupe Free Blades.
Yeah, I had 3 of those, which was sweet.
Start.
And then I played black. I had like 4 removal spells in black, 3 of the 5 mana, and then one of the was it 2 mana spell or a 3 mana spell? The 2 mana sorcery, the destroyed. Yeah, so.
The Reef Soul thing or whatever?
Yeah, whatever the thing is. So I had that, and the rest of the package is like pretty straightforward. And I had that fucking 7/7 that you get to like pay 7 mana and then tap it, and when it attacks it does 7 damage, which is like a hard card to play because a lot of times you'll just be like dead with that card in your hand. But if it hits the board, then you just like win the game, which is kind of cool. So I had that happen once during the whole time.
Major responder, isn't that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. So how'd you guys do in that?
So, unfortunately, I had a great draft. I was very excited about my draft, my sealed pool.
I thought, yours was better than mine.
I pulled a Hangerback Walker and Chandra, and I was like, okay, well, this is a good start here. So, I went white-red, and I had a pretty sweet interaction of combos with what's that tactician dude, the 3/3 for 4 when he comes in, he anthems everybody. And, between that and the
enchantment that anthems everybody when a creature enters the battlefield.
Which is not a very good card overall, but with the deck I built, it was great.
Yeah, so it's not
Valor
really
of Akros.
It's not very much of a playable card. Like, I had one of my seal pool, and I played white, and I'm like, I'm not playing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but I was playing that Poppers. Combined with Flame Shadow. I believe that's what it's called, Flame Shadow, the enchantment for 4. Mm-hmm. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, I can play a red and copy it and make a token of it that gains haste and can exile. Well, I was playing that with a lot of Gear Crafters and that chick who brings to the 1/3 for 3. She comes in and brings a Thopter with her and gets all artifacts haste.
Yeah, so if you do that and then trigger the enchantment, you bring out 4 creatures that turn, so everything gets +4/+4.
Yeah,
and they have 2 of them have haste or whatever. So
and that's what other creatures also you have on the board too.
It's just a surprise 8 damage in your face. What the fuck? What happened?
Well, yeah. So in 5 of the matches, I think probably a good 5 or 6 times I was able to make that couple card combo happen where I was swinging for anywhere between 13 to 17 in a turn, and it was just like, okay, this is the game right here.
Yeah, see,
it was great.
When you play those cards, I was thinking maybe it's kind of Christmas landy and kind of I don't know, that's probably not going to fall together like you think, whatever. And then it did, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So that was the thing. I was when we first got, it was a pull out of the hat for who we were playing against first round. And I ended
pull out of the hat.
I ended up playing against Hall Sauce first round. And I was like, well, fuck, I want to play against somebody else. We play each other all the damn time, whatever. And he's walking around going, my deck's horrible. I'm like, I know you're full of shit. You always say that crap about your goddamn draft decks.
No, the deck I drafted online a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever, was a fucking amazing deck, and I went 1 and 2, and the 1 was because of buy. Yeah. So no, I said that deck I had the fucking nut deck where I had 34 playables, and they were all good because nobody was drafting white or green, and I was like, oh my god, this deck's amazing. Lost to everybody.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So I played Hot Sauce match 1, and unfortunately game 1, I hiccuped on mana while he dropped my 3 free blades. I'm like, okay, well, you win.
Yeah.
Game 2, I was able to...
So salty, by the way. Oh my god.
Well, I was thinking fuck, I know I have a better goddamn deck than you. Shit, give me my fucking mana. My top of my curve was 4. I had nothing over 4 CMC. So, I shouldn't have had mana problems. And I even had a Battlefield Forge, so I had that fixing there as well. So I shouldn't have had problems, but I did a game 1. Game 2, I remember I beat you pretty good. It was a pretty quick matchup for game 2. Then game 3 came along, and it was a good game, but you were able to pull it out in the end. So that was my 1 match loss. After that, I played somebody else 2-0'd right away. Then I played Ryke and 2-0'd him right away. And went on to go 4-1. So you ended up going 5-0 and won the damn thing. I went 4-1 and won it. So my only loss was to you. And then, how'd you do, Knife?
I did not so great.
But you thought your deck was okay?
My deck was decent. It was a white-green renowned deck, but it didn't have a lot of the main players you want. I had 3 of the 1/3 flyers with renown 1, which was nice. I really like those guys.
Those guys are good to put like enchantments on too.
Yeah, to buff them up and stuff.
Yeah, buff them up. And or like the artifacts that give, +1/+1 for each of their attacking or each of their not attacking creature or whatever.
Right.
Anyways.
So, but the deck just didn't
perform.
It didn't magic. It didn't magic.
Sputtered out.
Didn't do nothing. It did absolutely nothing. I went like
3 and 2.
No, I thought he was 2 and 3.
2 and 3?
No, I think I was 3 and 2.
No, you were 2 and 3
because you weren't in contention for the third
place. Because if you were to win against him, then you would have both been 3 and 2. That's what it was.
So I
never played Knife
at the very last round.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's where I was like, all right, you guys are actually in like a weird spot for like second place, whatever, or whatever it was, because like then we're gonna have a bunch of 3 and 2s.
Right. So yeah, I went 2 and 3, and the deck just didn't perform like I wanted it to. It was all commons and uncommons, all my good rares, and pulled like 3 mythics, which was nice. But
Demonic Pact is one of those.
Yeah, Demonic Pact, the artifact that they play in the mill deck.
Yeah.
Where you draw extra card, get extra life.
Alhammer's Archive.
Yeah, and then the Erebos' Titan.
Dope card, though.
And all my other black was complete garbage. And I had a lot of good blues, but like I said, the rest of them were fucking garbage, so I just had to go with the bulk of what was good in my pool, and did not pull it out, though.
So, we were talking about like competing for second place. I wonder who took first. That's a weird thing. Because you know what? I went 5 and 0. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Okay, calm down.
Still recording? Good. 5 and 0 with a crap deck. I don't know how the fuck it happened. After beating Jersey, I'm like, okay, this is the last time this is gonna happen. I was like, oh shit, I'm going fucking.
No, you had a really good low curve, and then like Ryke's deck was really powerful, but he was playing a lot of high mana stuff. Like I
swept him quick, just because he didn't do enough in enough time. Where I had like 3 creatures, and he's on like turn 5, and he's like, shit.
When I was worried going against him was like, okay, if I can't quickly get him, like I'm screwed. Like while my highest mana cost was 4 CMC, I did have a lot of 3 drops. So I was like, if I can't get in there fast, like he's gonna overrun me.
Yeah.
And I was able to. What did I do? He got the goddamn rare uncommon vigilance reach spider, like the 6/6 spider. I'm like,
oh yeah, God, dude. Whoever's playing that, it's like, oh my god, this fucking card.
But I was able to celestial flare that. I was like, fuck yeah. So the next thing he dropped was Rocks Maulers. I'm like, oh dear God. So I had to top deck a card for it. Otherwise, like, it wouldn't have killed me right then, but it would have like, it would have won the damage race from where I was at.
6/6 trample when it's renowned, it's like unstoppable.
So I had top decked the fucking, suppression bonds. I was like, this is game over. And then game 2 was just an utter rapage. It was just real quick.
Utter rapage.
Yeah.
Utter. Like cats.
No lube with a baseball bat, just splinters left in there.
We gotta stop joking about rape, dude. This is, gotta stop,
that's passe. That was like last year.
Dude, yeah, this is...
Whatever.
Yeah, dude, it's really bad.
It's all about respecting women now.
I was raping a man.
That's all about spousal abuse now. Rape is a whole other thing. Just spousal abuse is good to go.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that was pretty fun. We had to drive like an hour and a half away.
Hour 10 minutes, some hour 15 minutes, yeah.
Something. So that was a little much.
So it was a great time, but yeah, that drive was like pretty shitty.
So first place I won 60, second place was 30, and third place was 10, and then so you pulled a hanger back.
Well, that was my sealed.
I know, but you pulled a hanger back and a Chandra.
Yeah.
And then I had some extra packs, and I pulled a Jace, a foil. Hangerback Walker and a foil Archangel Tithes, whatever. So it was good. It was a good day. I was all pumped up. I'm like, okay, I won, which I don't know how I did. And then I pulled these extra things. I'm like, oh my god, these guys, everyone's gonna hate me. So
even more so.
Yeah,
it was pretty easy to hate you.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I mean, I've just been doing a whole bunch of nothing. I think it's something funny. And then I'll bring it back in. I'll just slip it in magic time.
Oh yeah, slide it on in, nice and easy.
So, what about you, Crow?
I don't want to go too much into it, whatnot, but the last 2 weeks have been pretty stressful. My wife's grandma did pass away, and she was a real good lady.
I was going to do the fake laugh, but then I decided not to at the last second, and then you did it.
Don't crack a smile when I look at you.
Well, that's why I cracked the smile, because I was like, nah, just let it go.
That's okay. We laughed at his grandpa dying, so we can laugh at my wife's grandma dying, I suppose.
I still laugh at my grandpa dying.
It's the only thing that gets me out of bed in the morning.
His face is like so like that was really horrible.
No. I'm thinking of worse things to say. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, go on.
Anyway, she was a great lady, so I want to give a quick shout out to her. I mean, she was great. So because of that, though, like it's been obviously stressful. My wife's been running around with her family and all this jazz. Well, my wife's great grandma, Carol's mom, is still alive. She's 92.
It's a weird name for a person, by the way.
Great grandma Carol?
Carol's mom.
Carol's mom.
Full name. Strange.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways.
Quality jokes here on The Flans Could Kill.
Wow.
Is Ryke here?
I'm trying to fill in. I was thinking of that too, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not going to say that.
Well, she's 92. She's had dementia for a while, so we all assumed she'd pass first, but that old bat's hanging on like a motherfucker. Except for 3 days after her daughter passed, and they tried telling her, like, she didn't understand what was going on, because, dementia. And then she ended up going to the hospital. Well, I thought she was going to die. She's pulled through since then, but she's being sent to hospice, basically, so she only has so long, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's been very stressful overall, and the wife's, like, trying to help out her mom and stuff, and so she's all, like, crying all the damn time, and, it's understandable, but it's like, I don't know what to say all the time. Like, when it happens, like, she just starts crying. It's like, I've used up all my, like, good guy, like, good husband comments now. I don't say
Yeah. Just gotta start giving out hugs, dude.
Yeah, well, I do, but even still, like, I don't know. Sometimes you get that look of, like, she just wants to hear something reassuring, and it's like, I've said everything already. Can I say it again? Fuck. But
like, my food's gonna get fucking cold if you don't shut up.
Oh my god.
That happened one time.
Shut up.
She went to LOJ, Labyrinth of Jareth or something like that.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It's in Hollywood, like a bunch of celebrities are there too and shit. I don't know. But
is it like a dungeon? What the fuck?
Yes, yeah. They all get like dressed up in like Victorian things and wear masks and all kinds of shit like that.
Sounds like a sex party.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Johnny Depp was there and Corey Feldman was there, I guess. And
dude, I love Corey Feldman.
Talk about rapists, dude.
Bringing it back.
So she was up there for that, but then like the night ended and she called me at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And she's like all drunk and calling me. And then
she's like, hey, I'm going to blow Corey Feldman. Is that okay?
No, she just told me today she didn't know they were there. She's like, oh, fuck, we've never seen them. I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad you didn't see them. Fuck them. But anyways. So she called me, though. But I had just gotten home from, like, I was hanging out with Thomas, playing some Magic that night. I just gotten home. I just got Jack in the Box. I ate, like, one, like, junior bacon cheeseburger, and I had, like, gotten, like, 2 more of them or whatever. And I was fucking hungry. Then she calls, like, well, I can't eat it over talking. But then she went on for a half hour. I'm like, now my food's fucking cold, and I'm way more tired than I was. Passed out to wake up in the morning to eat a fucking cold-ass burger. I was like, god damn, this is gross.
When I was like, just bad with women, basically, like, I would totally do other things while they're talking to me on the phone. And that shit bit me in the ass so hard, dude, a couple of times where they just get... And then once they found out, they just got so fucking pissed, like, just so mad. I'm like, understandable, and I shouldn't have done it, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, she'll just like stop talking for a second, whatever, and then she'll hear me doing something in the back. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like,
taking a poop?
What? Yeah, taking a poop. I had that happen too, yeah.
Yeah.
Just women, man.
That happened to me like a couple hours ago where before the cast, we were finishing up a game of Tiny Leaders, and my girlfriend called, and I was like, while I was like trying to finish playing, and then after we finished the game, I was like, talking to her a bunch, and she was like, why were you so, like, not responding before? I was like, I was finishing up a game of Magic. And she's like, all right, well, see you later.
Yeah. You should not have told her to. You should have said you were pooping or something.
Yeah.
It'd be better than telling her
like the dogs are getting out of control or something like that.
I was masturbating.
That'd be better than saying you're playing Magic.
To your voice. Yeah. So you guys ever, was it on Family Guy? It was the phone sax. You remember that at all?
No.
And he says, he's like, oh yeah, me and my wife, we have phone sax. And he's like, phone sex. He's like, no, phone sax. And it's like, it has Peter playing the saxophone, like some whatever, some saxophone riff, whatever that you've heard before from whatever.
Probably from Lost Boys.
And then, something like that. And then he goes, okay, your turn. And then she puts it down to her vag and starts like, it's like a really high-pitched version of this, the same thing, whatever. It was pretty funny. He's like, don't wash the mouthpiece.
Oh, God.
Family Guy.
So I've definitely done that too, where, doing other things, we're on the phone with the wife, whatever, but she was talking about, she's in like mid-tears crying about her grandma passing away in the sense, so I'm like, this is not the time to care.
Why is she going to sex parties?
Fuck it all away, dude.
Some people get horny.
Fuck the pain away, bro. Oh yeah, dude. Ultimate aphrodisiac, bro.
Sometimes
you don't ever know from the fucking funerals, bro. That's the place to go. Women are so horny there.
The only way I can get
Meatloaf!
Meatloaf!
It's a meatloaf!
Mom! What's up?
So it's been a stressful week. So I mean, I was trying to handle all that stuff. So I've been at home watching my son, and that's been fun. Except for, if you ever watched a 3-year-old on your own for that long, it's goddamn it, hot sauce. He's holding back his pedophile jokes so bad. I don't want to hear about your experiences with 3-year-olds.
He thought you said washed a 3-year-old that long.
No. I'll tell Knife later in total confidence.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so he's a great kid, but, that's just pretty stressful to watch a baby that long by yourself. Especially when my son's a goddamn berserker, which I love, but fuck, he's a lot to handle. And, so that's been fine, but then, like last night, you guys know I don't fucking like sleep. But last night I fell asleep like 2:30. And earlier in the day, he had taken a small nap and went to bed like 8:30 though. And so I fall asleep at 2:30, and all of a sudden 3 o'clock rolls around. I'm getting like woken up by him, like, Dad, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. And so, like, I'm up from 3 o'clock this morning until like all the way through the morning hours when my wife sleeps until like 9. So I'm like, God damn it, I'm fucking tired as shit today, trying to fucking get over here and whatnot. So
you haven't slept yet?
I did get a half-hour nap.
Okay, that's not even worth mentioning. Yeah, that's like terrible.
Well, once I got the daytime, like I'm not for sleeping during the daytime. So I'm
fucking want kids, dude. Like I want kids, but I want like someone to take care of them, and I just want to have them.
Yeah. You want to be an uncle? That's what you want.
I want to be a fucking uncle.
Or you want to be a rich piece of shit who just has their kids watched by the maids.
Yeah, absolutely, and just have them cause all kinds of trouble, just drunk drive, crash my fucking car, all those celebrity horror stories. I want all that shit to happen to me. Because that means I'm rich. That's sweet.
It means it's worth it.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
So, I don't really remember what the fuck has been going on in my week. Nothing too exciting. There was a new episode of Dog Hospital. I don't really remember what happened on the episode.
The cherry eye got fixed.
Yeah, so my bulldog got spayed, and her cherry eye got...
That dumb bitch knocked over my beer earlier.
Yeah, and her cherry eye got sutured down, and so she's been just running around with a cone on her head, scaring the other dogs, because they're like, what the fuck is this cone?
Velociraptor dog.
Yeah, exactly. And, okay, so I remember what happened. But we'll save that for our next segment, which is right now, which is GP San Diego.
Oh, man.
So the three of us...
Well, real quick, leading up into GP San Diego, was I went to the Padres were in town, so I went to the Padres game on Friday night. I happened to take my dad's girlfriend's birthday. So I took, my dad, her, and my wife down there. And we always trolley bars, get a bottle of Coke, whatever, fill with booze, and drink on the trolley down there.
Right.
Well, me and my dad have this spot where if we don't finish our drinks on the trolley, that we, stand on this particular brick wall, kind of like Clerk style, outside the wall there.
Right.
Drink and finish our drinks.
Humping girls walking by. And
yeah,
like
well,
that, yeah.
There's many, situations that happen.
I've met your father.
Yes, he is an asshole. He's great. And so we go to that spot, and we're hanging out there. And all of a sudden walks past this fucking Patrick Sullivan, Basic Mountain. Walks past, I'm like, oh shit, Basic Mountain, how you doing, man? I was like, and he turns and just looks at me and just goes, no. I'm like, motherfucker, I know that's you, how's it going, man? So I actually tweeted him that night, or right there, I'm like, hey, Basic Mountain, I know that was you, motherfucker, don't tell me no. He writes back like, no, I said yo. I'm like, no, fucking bullshit. It's funnier if you said no. So then the next day we go to the GP, As we're sitting there hanging out, we're just like, getting settled in. We're playing a game like Commander or some shit on the table. And he walks by. I'm like, well, I'm not going to bring it up again because it was already funny. And he walks by and taps me on the shoulder. He goes, no, man, I promise I said yo. I'm like, no. I don't give a shit. It's funny if you just fucking said no because that's your personality. That's goddamn hilarious.
It's funny that he recognized you when he walked by. He's like, oh, shit, what up?
That's the other thing I forgot with my wife was like, well, fuck that guy then when he said no to me. And she thought I said no. Like, no. That's his goddamn personality. That's perfect. That's hilarious.
Cold-blooded, dude.
Cold-blooded killer.
So that was the Friday leading into the GP the next day. So that was pretty enjoyable and funny.
So all three of us were able to make it down to the GP, although we weren't playing in the main event. No offense to anybody who did, but pay $70 to play with your own cards. You can suck my dick off, like in that movie Dick Off.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Nicolas Cage at his best.
Yeah. So we just were playing some casual games, walking around to all the booths, trading in some cards, getting new cards. Didn't you get like a...
I got a dual land, bitch.
Oh, that's right. You got a dual land.
It was super damaged and really cheap. And so I got a plateau for the first time. Hey, whatever, I'm the first one of us to get a dual land, dude. I'm like,
yeah, he likes to do things like that where he feels all cocky about himself, like, oh, I'm the first.
It was also that cheap enough where I'm surprised you guys didn't pick it up either.
Yeah, you're kind of right about that, but I ended up buying a foil Pact of Negation and a fucking Cryptic Command.
Those are better cards, actually, yeah.
And then I also got a couple of the unhinged lands. Now I have one of each unhinged lands. I got a forest and island all is there, so they're cheaper than I could find.
What about that guy that was that makes the tokens?
RK Post?
RK Post.
So he does actual magic cards, but he makes his own tokens as well.
Tokens are amazing.
So he was there. He's actually almost, he goes to nearly every GP and, event SCG does, so he's always there signing and whatnot. But,
you did free signings? That was cool.
He was really cool in free signings. He makes his own tokens. I already had some. I bought them online, but I got some more there. He makes Boba Fett tokens and, a Cons and Dragons. So you choose on a siege.
Uh-huh.
It's like a David Bowie and a dragon.
That's
or whatever.
Sweet.
And
he's also made a joke to some fucking customer player or whatever, just about sucking his dick later for owning something. That was funny.
We were standing there, a dude brought him a coffee. He's like, oh, okay, cool, man. I'll suck your dick later.
I was like, oh, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
So I picked up some tokens, some Boba Fett tokens and some Vader tokens. And
no Vader.
Yeah, there's Vader.
He didn't have Vader. Did he?
He had Vader. Oh, yeah, he had Vader.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I missed him.
You were with me when we...
I'm saying I didn't see the Vader tokens. I'm saying.
He probably bought 5 and he doesn't even know it.
So anyways, and I traded out some of my standard cards that I wasn't going to use and picked up some cards from my Zur deck.
Including Zur himself.
EDH Zur deck, which is very nice. Enchantment based, super awesome. And then I was able to pick up a foil F&M promo Isochron Scepter, which I think the actual F&M stamp looks dumb, but I think the art is 1,000 times better than the original art, so...
It's a good card. Very playable card in Tiny Leaders.
Any other sweet pickups?
After Hot Sauce had to go because he had something going on with the girl later on that day, I actually went over to there's other artists there signing cards, and so one of the other dudes, there's a couple of people there. I brought cards, knowing what artists were there, and I picked out some ones that get signed. But the ones you wanted money for, I'm I don't care enough about this card. Vulcan Bogger or whatever was there, but the cards I had of his weren't money cards. I had an uncommon that was cool artwork, but I was I'm not paying you $2 to sign this thing. I don't give a shit about it that much.
I'm not really into signings that much. But but that's fine. If you are, that's totally fine. I'll never talk shit about people that are
not
collectors.
Really. I know I am more than you guys are. Cause I think it is pretty cool to have a card signed with the artist. I think that's pretty sweet. Yeah. But I'm not going to go out there and purposely go, I love Crackling Doom, I'm going to go find whoever has this card, I'm willing to spend $100 and make sure I get the signed version of it, whatever. I'm not, over the top about it.
Then I'm so the opposite that, I could have the card in my hand and him 5 feet away from me, and I'm like, nah, we're good.
See, I've had the opportunity, I'm going to get it signed, for free especially, whatever, or if it's a card I really like I love Crackling Doom, and you guys told me a story about GP Vegas, and it's oh, fuck you guys, that was awesome. But... So I brought some things, and so the people who wanted money, and it was uncommon, whatever, I'm not going to get them signed. But the dude who made the new Thoughtseize and Vexing Devil and Mana Gorger Hydra was there. So I got him to sign those for me.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So, like,
Manticore Jahija is a dope fucking card.
Yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. And then, Thoughtseize itself is an expensive card and it's going to be continually used in Modern. So it's one of those cards that some cards, like, may not gain value from being signed and this and that, but collectors like that kind of shit. And so it's like, yeah, okay, you're going to go ahead and sign my Thoughtseize for free while I hand you $1 tip and whatnot. Like, I'm in. Whatever. So I thought that's what I picked up after that.
Oh, they were also one booth was selling the full art lands, the Zendikar ones, for 50 cents a piece. Certain ones were 50 cents a piece, and I thought that was
good fucking price.
Yeah, they're trying to unload them with the new full arts coming out, but at the same time, it's still awesome to get those that you picked up.
Yeah, because you see them for like $1, $1.50, $2 or whatever, and then
all depending on which art it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, 50 cents. Fuck yeah! I'm just gonna spend the rest of my $5, $10 or whatever, and just pick up as many as I can. So got a shitload of those. I actually forgot about.
I love the full art lands, and so I picked them up like here and there. Like, and I definitely bought more of them, I feel like, than you guys have. You guys weren't playing during that time, but I know you guys have gotten some. But I've actually like searched them out. Like, I've wanted to have the full art ones. I love them.
Right.
So I've definitely bought them, and so it's kind of funny that I've had them in my collection. There's been several times, like multiple times, I'm doing trades, and like I'm off by $1 or $2 on somebody else. And I'm like, well, we'll just take I'll take that island, or I'll take that forest. I'm like, okay, so I've used a bunch of them as like fucking just trade bait for a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there. It's been sweet for that fact, but then I still have a good solid amount of each one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new set. I know we'll talk about it, but I mean,
yeah,
it's gonna be dope
for that. That might be the fucking thing we talked about last week that we forgot. We were on our little list of new art lands being announced and this and that. And
well, we can talk about that in a little bit after GP. So your tournament,
so Hot Sauce
side tournament, right? Side event.
Yeah, Hot Sauce took off, and so we signed up for a 4:00 sealed little side event.
As we're waiting for this event,
so because I left, I went to a birthday party, and it was a 29th birthday party of this girl. And she made it her 9th birthday party. She crossed with the 2, being all funny like that, whatever. She literally got a bounce house and piñatas and candy and all the things that are kids things, whatever. But even better is that the piñatas were hung off a tree with a noose, like a legitimate noose. I have pictures of it. I was like, I heard about it, and I'm like, I gotta see this shit. I go outside, I'm like, oh, there's kids there. The kids were all swinging at it. A fucking noose.
Was it like a Obama piñata?
It was, yeah, you're right, I know. No, it was a Viva Piñata. It was one of them, and there was another one. And it had a little, 1 ounce little, booze bottles, whatever for us. It was like half candy, half booze bottles. So booze for the kids, candy for us.
So the kids were definitely sticking booze.
Yeah, absolutely. Sipping on Grandpa's cough syrup for the first time.
I'm so glad you said cough syrup, because it's
cough syrup.
Sipping on Grandpa's cock for the first time.
Yeah,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
not the first time. I know my friends.
Or a Dumb and Dumber reference.
Anyways, I just wanted to say that because the news thing was just absolutely hilarious. So what about it? What?
So we signed up for the sealed event. We're hanging out, and we're at this point we're kind of waiting around for a hot minute, and so Knife has kind of gotten edgy and fucking hilarious.
I was like, do you remember how I was in high school, where I just take nothing seriously and just a smart ass about every single thing?
It was fantastic.
I was that way for up until I don't know, 5 years ago or something. I don't know. But I was just in a mood. That's what I was in. I was in a mood.
I was dying laughing for the last hour we were sitting there waiting. I was just like, oh my god.
2 cups of coffee, dude. He didn't eat that day. Just
yeah.
It was half grumpy, but half making himself laugh,
Yeah.
But he was so monotone, dead about it, he wasn't laughing himself. So it was that much funnier that I was like, oh my god, what is happening right now? This is great. He's just putting people down without them knowing, but it's fucking hilarious when I'm standing here and can hear it. It's great.
They're just doing dumb stuff. This guy had this full suede suit on.
Velvet suit.
Yeah, and so I just I walked up to him, I was like, can I touch you? He's like, yeah. And I felt it, and I was like, yeah, that's nice. And I just walked away. That was it. And then we just both went on living our lives,
Well, both lives have been changed, though.
Yeah.
And to step back a half second here, within 10 minutes of you coming to the GP, because me and Hot Sauce got there a little earlier than you did. You showed up a half hour later than us. And as soon as you get there, out of nowhere, fucking Dio's Holy Diver, pops in your head. And, you sing that, and, it's a good song. The rest of the goddamn day, it's stuck in my fucking head. And so, every time I would, go get out of there, obviously, somehow you just knew, and you fucking sing it again. And I was like, oh my god, this is hilarious, but son of a bitch.
And I just kind of narrate everything, like what was going on, like that's a big line.
See, that's the thing is me and Knife have been like singing in like we've been like a narrator, but we're like singing it the whole time. So whatever happens, we just get like the chorus from a song and change the words to what's going on around us. And I noticed we've done it like we just do it too much.
Oh yeah,
we're like driving the shit in the ground so hard.
No, I disagree. It's fucking hilarious.
It is. Oh, I laugh about it every time, even though it's so stupid. I just like laugh all the time. I can't do it on the spot right now, but it's just funny, man. It's just funny.
So the point being from there though is after we were done like picking up our, I got my Unhinged lands, he got his Zendikar lands, and we both like went over to a table to like put our shit away. And the whole time, Knife's got this like water bottle with him. And he sets it down, puts his stuff away, then a couple minutes later we're going to leave this table, and all of a sudden there's another water bottle there, like within like 2 feet of his bottle, and he's like, oh my god, which one is mine?
They're like almost the same amount in, like same exact water bottle, like, what the fuck did it just asexually reproduce? Like, what the fuck?
So, you're like, what the fuck? Like, which one is mine? I don't know. Like, okay, I guess I'm getting herpes.
You take both.
Now I have both waters.
So we ended up like moving over to some other table, and there was some other water bottle there. I made a comment about you taking that one. I'm like, well, that one doesn't have herpes. Like, somebody probably put it on their asshole, like, for you to like drink later and have that flavor or whatever. And you're like, hey, extra flavor! And the whole song. I'm like, god damn it. That was great.
This is stupid.
Extra flavor! And I got the one that has herpes.
Yeah, that was like narrating up to our fucking seal draft, and it was a good time.
We're having some fun.
Yeah.
We're having some fun.
You get a little loopy after being out all day, and you're like, okay, I gotta do something that still uses my mind, but I'm a little tired. And so,
the girlfriend's not here. No one can stop me from being an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take advantage.
And I'm just there to encourage you to be an idiot more.
So we started this sealed event, and did you pull anything good?
No.
Like money-wise? The only good pull I had was Chandra.
Well, the only money I pulled was Abbot of Carol Keep.
Okay.
That's like $6, right?
No, I think it's like 8 right now.
8 now?
Yeah. But, I mean,
good card, though.
Good, yeah, I was happy to pull it because it's a good card. But it wasn't like, oh my god, yeah, Jace,
Yeah.
So,
what did you end up building?
Blue-red artifacts, but when I got done looking at the playables, like, my rares were all over the place, and it was just not good. So I'm looking at my playables, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm going blue-red artifacts. Try to force that to work. When I got done putting the cards down, there were playables, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like 2 cards short of, like, having enough playables, even. I'm like, well, I have Evolving Wilds. I guess I'm splashing green for a fucking couple of big creatures, like Rocks Maulers, or, it was just Rocks Maulers, and I played, like, Might of the Masses. And Titan Strength or something, Titan Growth, whatever the fuck it is. And so I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be bad. And my match 1 was actually really good in the sense, like, it was a good match. Like, game 1, he beat me, game 2, I beat him, and then game 3, I was able to use some tricks and take him down with some, like, I had 2 of that, like, is it Chandra's Fury, where you do 4 damage to player and 1 damage each one of their creatures?
Yeah.
So I have that. I had 2 of those, and I had like that, like Chandra's Blaze, where it's double red and X. And if you have Spell Mastery, you're able to hit that creature for X and the player for X.
Yeah.
And so every time I was able to use that, I had Spell Mastery. So like I was able to like ping them with my little artifacts a little bit here and there, and then like burn them out. So I was able to win match 1. But I knew like after I built the deck that like, oh my god, I hope I don't run it into white, green, Renown, Vigilance, because that is going to be the death of what my deck can possibly beat. And game 2, though, I ended up running against a black-red deck. The motherfucker had 2, he had a Chandra, and he had 2 of the, what's the rare? The 2 red and 3. Chandra's Blaze, or whatever the fuck it
wipes
is.
the board?
Yeah, where you choose target creature of yours, it does that much damage each other creature and each other player. So, like, he did that, like, game 1, he did that twice. I'm like, oh my god. So I beat him game 2. Then game 3 comes along. I'm like, I'm winning. I've got him down to like 7 life. Alright, good board state. He's got like nothing. I'm like able to like burn his guy off, and it's like he's got nothing. He throws a prickle board down. I'm having like 13 life. There's a prickle board down. I get him like 7 life. Then on his turn again, he throws that fucking rare down. And so on their turn, prickle board is a 5/3 the first strike.
Yeah.
So he does that. Hits me for 5, wipes my board, then swings him for 5 more, hits me for 10. I'm like, so I play something else, I'll be able to like chump him next turn, like a Gear Grafter or whatever it is. And I'm like, I pass it to him like, but let me guess, You got the second one again, don't you, motherfucker? He goes, yep. I'm like, oh, fuck you, motherfucker. You can't beat that limit. Are you kidding me? 2 huge board wipes, swinging for 20 in 2 turns with 1 creature? Fuck you, man.
That's pretty bad.
Like, you can't beat that. Like, it was ridiculous.
That was the only time Pricklebore ever did anything worth
I don't before. I don't like the card. I don't think it's, looking at it can be okay, but I don't want to have to play it if I don't have to.
Isn't it 5 mana?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the part that bothers me.
Yeah.
It's 4 mana, okay. And even still, it's kind of tough to play, but it is a 3/3 for 4. It's playable and limited.
It can be okay, and I've seen it do work. I just don't particularly personally like the card.
I just wish it was the whole time, because then it'd be like an excellent blocker. It'd just be like an all-star, you know?
Oh, wait,
but it ain't.
God, yeah. So, so in game 3, I ran into the fucking green-white, or match 3, I ran into the green-white vigilance. I'm like, I guess I came here to get raped.
Yeah.
And it occurred. It was horrible.
Oh, my honey.
Then, match 4, I ran into green-white Renown again, but it wasn't as good of a deck. I almost won the match, but I wasn't able to pull it out. And then match 5 with a guy didn't stay. So I guess I technically was 2 and 3 at the end of it, but it was not good at all. My deck was bad. My steel pool was bad.
Coco, though, on the other hand.
Mine was not too bad.
Not too bad. Understatement.
Not too shabby. So I had a very decent red, and I was just looking for something to pair it with. And I was thinking about going white, but there just wasn't enough. And, could have gone green with some of the, higher end, bigger butt guys. But I ended up going red-blue and did sort of a sort of strategy where I had kind of like aggro control sort of thing.
You had like one of each burn spell, didn't you?
I had like one of each burn spell. I had
like a blue-red tempo deck.
Like a blue-red tempo deck. I would put threats down early and then try and protect them and burn out the blockers as much as possible. I had couple counter spells and the bounce to the top of the library spell and a couple other things here and there.
Disperse and stuff too, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, disperse and what's the 3 mana one?
What does it do?
Or is that not in the format?
I don't know.
Which one do you think?
There's a 4 mana one and a 2 mana one.
Return to the Aether or whatever.
Oh, put it on top of the library?
Yeah.
That one,
that's a
3 mana sorcery. That's why. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Scry one.
So anyways, I was able to, and all my little red guys had Renowned and either Renowned or Menace. And so I was able to get through a lot just with them and then kind of tempo and control the board from there. And I had Chandra, but every time I cast Chandra, before it would come back to my turn, my opponent would either burn her out or kill her somehow.
That's the same that happened to my sealed pool when we had at Ian's place.
Right.
Every time I played her, I only drew her a handful of times, like not even a handful, like maybe 3-4 times. And every time I played her, like I never got her back to my turn. One time against you at the very end, I was able to play with her on my turn for a little bit there.
So she did nothing for me. I guess she just ate some removal spells or some burn spells, but that was about it. But every match I played went to 3 games. There was no matches where I, would just like 2-0 in 10 minutes, you're done. Every game went almost to time, and it went to game 3, or every match went to time and went to game 3. To where it was like, it was anybody's game, and there was a couple points where I had to not attack and just kind of wait to draw answers, or, I felt like there was a heavy decision tree to be made, whether to attack or to block, or, because that was all my win conditions were just little, 2 3s and 3 3s and 4 3s or whatever. I didn't have any 6/6 vigilant spiders. So the first couple games were good. Like I said, they all went to game 3. I want to say it was like match 4. I went up against this guy who had the Nantuko Husk, whatever his name is.
Nantuko Husk.
And that card, holy fuck, is that card hard to deal with. Because having it on a board where it's like a stalemate, so I attack in, he blocks with the Husk, he sacrifices one of his creatures to pump the Husk, and then, so basically, we each lose a guy and we're back to square one. And so it was just like, okay, like I need to get rid of that thing, and I can't remember how exactly I did it, but I eventually got rid of it. But that was like a huge roadblock to where we're both just like drawing cards. Like, okay,
it's a great limited card. I mean, like it makes you have all these decisions. You have so much decision making to think like, can I even attack? Is it worth it? Like if he swings in, usually if they're going to attack, they're just swinging that guy,
right?
And you're just like, well, I'm not going to block it. Like he's going to eat a dude. He's going to eat one of his, but he's going to eat his worst one, and I don't know. It's just a pain in the ass to deal with. It's a lot of thinking about, and like burning him out too. You can't burn it out.
Yeah.
He'll just sack another guy, and then it'll just absorb that damage, and then just go back to normal. And you're like, well, that's fucking bullshit.
Right. But, so yeah, I went to 3 games, and I ended up taking it down. And the guy was super cool. I forget his name, but we talked about podcasting and all this cool stuff afterwards. And during that game with Mr. Cool Guy, since we were almost going to time, one of the other players in the event kind of sat next to us and was watching us. And me and this guy, we were just, super casual, just shooting the shit while we were playing. And we were, missing things left and right, missing Scry Trigger and all this stuff. And this kid who came up and started watching us would like point stuff out, like, oh, you missed your Scry Trigger. And, oh yeah, that guy's dead too. And, all this stuff, like, we're like, all right, cool, whatever, thanks. And so who do I play next match is that guy, that kid.
Well, it's like one of those situations where it's like, okay, yeah, I understand that. I don't play Magic. Just kind of fuck off, man. We're just kind of having a good time playing right now.
Yeah, we're making mistakes, whatever, like, So I play this kid, and I don't want to say like I stomped him, but I stomped him. I believe it still went 2-1.
That was the best part you made last time. I was like, he beat me game 1, but then I wrecked his face the next 2 games or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. And you can tell, like, he was on the more serious side. So when things weren't working out, or when, like, I did, like, a combat trick or something, like, you could just see the salt levels rising, And so by the end, I, like, swung in, and he triple blocked the guy who he thought I really wanted to get through, and then he blocked everyone else except for this one Thopter. And I was just like, Titan strength on the Thopter? And he's just like looked at me like, fuck you and your fucking deck, but I could just see it in his eyes. He just quietly scooped up his cards and that was it. So I went outside to smoke a cigarette real fast before the next round. And as I get outside, I'm like, oh yeah, I left my, sideboard back in there because I had was thinking about sideboarding. So I walked back into the place, no more than a couple minutes later, and my sideboard's gone. And it was just like in a, little plastic cellophane thing. And so, I don't want to accuse anybody, but I think Salty McSalterson was like, well, fuck you, I'm going to get value somehow. And there was nothing really too good. I think the only worthwhile card was the Hollowed Moonlight or whatever.
Not Hollowed Moonlight. The one where if a card enters from exile this turn, it gets destroyed.
It's the same card, isn't it? Hollowed something.
Yeah, but as long as it's Hollowed Moonlight.
Anyways, it's Hollowed something. That card. So, anyways, I wasn't too salty about it because I was barely sideboarding. Anyways, round 5 came, and I knew my girlfriend was getting home that day.
Wait, we can't go to round 5 yet because, real quick, forgot to mention that this whole time our listener, Corey, was in the sealed event with us.
Yeah, Corey, been thinking a lot on Twitter.
His sister didn't make the event because she was still in the main event because she did better than her brother because Corey sucks!
So yeah, he was there playing with us in the same sealed side event. And so, right after round 4, I was looking for the other undefeated guy because I wanted to talk to him about wanting to split or draw or something, and I couldn't find him, so I was really hoping because time was running out. It was 5 rounds. It was already 8:45 or something, and I needed to find this guy to see if he wanted to split, but I couldn't find him, so we're just shooting the shit with Corey and his sister.
So we're standing there, and what was it earlier? A round before that, there was this one girl playing in our seal draft. And after the round, she's walks up to us, and she walks up to me and goes, Oh, so like, is it cool if I hang out with you guys for a minute? Because she's talking to me like, you're kind of cute and like, you don't seem like a creep like the rest of these people here. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
What the
No,
hell?
no, she didn't say that immediately. So what happened?
Okay,
she came up and started talking to Crow, and then me being in my little stupid fucking smart ass mood, I started trying to make jokes, and then she's like not even close to acknowledging my existence. Like she's just like locked onto fucking Crow, and she's a little heavier, but I was still just trying to be like, haha, fun and jokey.
She had nice big boobs, though.
She did not give a shit. She was not I don't even think she looked at me.
Like, not at all.
That's how bad it was. And I was like, keep trying to make jokes, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and smoke.
Yeah, I wasn't laughing at your jokes. I was laughing at the fact that she was ignoring her.
Yeah, I was like, so like cold shouldered. It was hilarious. I was like, well, she's all about Crow. I'm gonna go smoke then.
So, anyways, after that, we go to the bathroom, whatever. We come back, and still between rounds, we come back and we're talking to Corey and his sister, and we're standing there. I forget how it came up, but you made a joke about like us dancing or about like doing with like kids at like a dance and like leaving space for Jesus. She's like, well, what's leaving space for Jesus? And like, oh, you haven't heard of that? So I grabbed a knife, and so we're in the middle of the GP dancing. But like, there's a body space in the middle of us because that's leaving space for Jesus.
Like in junior high when you can't get all like close because there's chaperones or whatever.
Yeah.
So you like
leave
have
space
to do
for Jesus.
You have to do arms length.
Yeah, arms locked, and then like your hands are on the hips, and your hands are on the shoulder, and theirs on the hips, or vice versa.
As soon as we finished dancing, I was like, oh man, I really wish one of us would have grabbed each other's like hips because that would have been way funnier. But we didn't in the moment. It was more like we're both leading, so we were both like arms high on each other's shoulders, like dancing together.
So that was the joke, because we were leaving space for Jesus. So
it was fucking hilarious. We're sitting there dancing in the middle of fucking GP, and it was obviously one of those like be there moments, but it was goddamn funny.
So time was of the essence. It was 8:45, and we're at the convention center in San Diego, and the airport is like 10 minutes away. So I'm supposed to give Crow a ride home all the way, 30 minutes in the other direction, and then come back and pick up my girlfriend. But I figured we'd both just like fucking O2 drop out of the fucking sealed or whatever.
And I kind of try to tell you, like, if it comes down to it, I can take the trolley home. Like, I do it all the damn time. It just kind of will be, it'll suck, but I could do it if I have to.
So now that I'm undefeated going into round 5, I just want to split with this guy, and then I can fucking take off and go pick up my girlfriend. So it ends up happening to where I sit down for round 5, and the guy's like, so do you want to split? And I'm like, yes. And then we fucking sign the slip. I make sure we sign the slip before I'm like, yeah, good thing too, because I got to go pick up my girlfriend in like 20 minutes. I would have just conceded to you.
Oh my god.
Did you say that to him afterwards?
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
And he was like, well, that's cool, I'm glad. He wasn't like salty about it. And the way I said it, I wasn't like being a dick about it.
Yeah.
I was just letting him know the situation. But it is.
I would have had to lose you on purpose.
Yeah, a little bit of the salt rubs.
Your goddamn cryptic version again.
So
have to show the card.
So anyways, so we go over, turn in our shit, and we go to the prize wall, and turns out we both can get a box of Origins, and then, so many points are left over, whatever. So I get 3 more packs of Origins, and I pick up a Liliana, the new Planeswalker, and the singles there that they have are overpriced, because a pack is 10 points or whatever. And so Liliana was like, I don't even know, like 150 or something like that, or, some stupid, number of points. But I was like, sure, I could get all these extra packs, but I'm not guaranteed to like pull her, and I really want to like, play with her in tiny leaders or something. So like the value wasn't there, but you
still played an event, got it for free.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm already getting it for free, so I just picked up one of those and then 3 extra packs. And so I run over to fucking Crow, and Corey's there, and I'm like, hey, listen, Corey, can you be like my best friend in the world right now and give Crow a ride home? Because I have to go pick up my girlfriend. He's like, yeah, sure, not a problem. Because he kind of lives, close
that
enough.
direction. Like, you had to go farther past my house, but it wasn't, like, out of the way by any means. So he was real cool about it.
Yeah, and so for his trouble, I gave him a pack, one of my loose packs, and then Crow's all bitchy, like,
where's my pack?
I want a pack. Yeah, fuck, you got a whole box. I'm like, whatever, here's a pack. And so we all just stand there real fast and open our packs before we leave. And fucking Corey pulls a goddamn Kytheon. And I pulled like an Avaricious Dragon or something.
I pulled a Sword of Animus, whatever.
Yeah. So I'm like, whatever. Fast forward a little bit, like, you know, the next day, I open my box and blah, blah, blah. So it turns out I have one of each Planeswalker except for a Kytheon. So fucking Corey, you bastard.
Got your Gideon.
You rat shithead.
You rat shithead. Anyways, though, officially, though, like, I get in the car with him, like, so you realize now you're my chauffeur. And, which means you now have a sponsorship you've sponsored our cast. So I signed him to a 2-year contract for driving me around. So whenever I need to go to events, I can call him. He's going to drive me.
I like it.
If you guys are nice, I'll give him your services as well. Or offer his services for you. But I definitely have a chauffeur now because of this cast. That's fantastic.
Nice. So to wrap up the whole GP day, I race to my car, drive over to the airport. I park because there's only one walkway you can walk over like the roads because they don't want people getting hit or whatever. And I forget that, so I park on the wrong side. And I get out of my car, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm supposed to park on the other side. So I go, pull my car around to the other side where the walkway is. I didn't run, but I walked very quickly, into the airport. And as I'm coming down the escalator, I see my girlfriend standing at baggage claim, and I'm like, shit. I'm late, I should have been here already, and she's gonna shit her pants because, why are you late? You were playing a fucking Magic tournament, blah, blah, blah. So I get down there, and, we hug and whatever, and I'm like, how long were you waiting here? She's like, only a minute or two. I'm like, yes! Oh my god, this day couldn't have worked out any more perfectly. I won a box and then some, and I wasn't late to pick up my girlfriend. Crow got a ride home. It was just an amazing time. And I still had all the excitement from winning, and I hadn't opened the box or anything.
You came home and boned her, huh?
No, but I wanted to talk about Magic, but that's not what you wanted to talk about, and I didn't even try.
How was your trip? Oh yeah. I don't care.
Anyways,
I'm a pro Magic player.
I'm a tournament winning pro now.
We're gonna live off this box for the next
Our kids are gonna fucking feed off this box. I'm retiring.
So yeah, that was nice. I ended up pulling a Jace and some other notable cards, Hangerback Walker, and some other stuff out of the box. So I was very happy. I think the box pretty much, it was even value with what I would have bought it for. So it was good. Good times.
Good.
Yeah.
It was a good day. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so what the fuck else were we going to talk about?
Zendikar.
So Zendikar stuff happened. They announced that they're going to be having no fetches, boo, but they're going to be having new dual lands, yay.
But it makes sense, there's no fetches. That's so much shuffling to have all 10 fetches in one standard.
I don't think it's shuffling-wise.
I think it's part of it. They don't want that much shuffling.
Nah, I just think it's overpowered.
I don't think there's ever going to be a standard format where they're going to have something like that. That's all. I think it's just because it's standard. Why would they do that to themselves?
So, they had all 10 fetches, or all 10 shocklands in standard, but I guess it's different. And plus with Delve, I think it might make it a little more unfair with Delve. But they did announce that they're going to have the full art lands back with different arts. So that's going to be.
I think we actually talked about that already because last time we talked about the gift box and stuff. We were here talking about the full art lands.
Oh, fair enough.
We did talk about that.
That happened though. They announced also some other spoilers about it.
Landfall's back.
Landfall's back. They had this really cool enchantment that they spoiled. That's like a 3 mana uncommon where whenever you play a land, then you get to choose one, which is put a counter on something or gain 2 life. which I think is just a fucking solid card. I think it's a cool card, you know, even though it's not some broken ass shit. It's just a cool introduction to like landfall again. You know what I mean? With cards like this.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked to hear
Simple,
Landfall's back.
just always do good stuff.
There's a couple other spoilers where they're got a couple creatures they're showing. Like one costs it's a black to cost, and the other one's like a black and a red to cost.
Yeah.
But they have a new mechanic called Devoid,
Yeah.
which means they're still colorless creatures.
Yeah, those were spoiled in the Zendikar versus Eldrazi,
yeah.
right?
Did we talk about that already?
No.
I don't think so.
No, it's new. No, we didn't talk about it. But it is cool that like that one. It's that black red one. It's a 3/2 for 2 that has no color, and then you can pay 1 colorless and give itself or any other colorless creature haste.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 3/2 for 2 that gives things haste. So it's like a 3-mana 3/2 with haste, or just later in the games, any colorless creature or any, what is it called? Devoid, or what is it called?
Devoid.
Yeah. Any creature that's coming out, because there's going to be a bunch of those creatures, you know, then everything just has haste. It's like a very awesome playable card. A 2-drop, man, that's that's going to stay in standard, I think. That's a standard playable card, I think.
Yeah.
You know, depending on what
else is out, but yeah.
Because black-red's kind of, you know, specific, but otherwise I think it's super powerful if there is a black-red deck out there coming.
Plus another card that also interacts with that, what was that mythic that was spoiled with that, it comes in and you exile top 4 cards and you play lands that are exiled.
Yeah, the Oblivion Sower.
Yeah, so that one's the one that was spoiled earlier. There's another card that was just spoiled that also interacts with that same thing where like enters the battlefield and like it exiles a couple cards or something like that.
I think whenever it attacks or something like that. Or,
I'm not exactly sure. I think Knife's looking it up right now. Hopefully.
I think whenever it attacks or does combat damage to a player or something like that.
No, so that's the new mechanic is ingest.
Yeah, ingest. Is that when it enters the battlefield that does that?
So it's
okay.
Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of his or her library.
Yeah.
So Annihilator back in the day with the original Eldrazi, Annihilator was pretty fucking powerful. So this time around they too powerful, some might say. So they didn't want.
He just said it.
Oh yes, he did. So they didn't want to bring that back. So they thought like, okay, the first Eldrazi were consuming and destroying, permanents. We still want that theme, but we don't want it to be so powerful. So what if they attacked your library? So that's going to be the thing where they're going to exile cards from your library and then be able to play them or use them against you somehow.
So it sure makes it feel like there's going to be a decent, like at least options. I don't know how many, but at least some options that allow for you to be able to play cards out of exile.
Which is weird, right? I mean, that's like a very strange,
it's a very specific situation.
There's one card that's like, as long as a player has a card in exile, then something happens.
Yeah, there's definitely
like last set, and then there was that
Torrent Elemental.
Torrent Elemental that like came back from exile.
Yeah.
Like there's like that's like pretty rare already. Those cards aren't like powerful necessarily, but like the idea is powerful.
In theory, it has to be like built around. I don't think they've really done that before, so it seems like they're doing the possibility of that is happening.
I think it's super cool that like they've like branched off to some like new territory. I know it's like a new mechanic. But it's more than that because you're interacting with like the basic rules of Magic in a different way. You know what I mean? It's not just like
out of the game.
It's not just like it's menace and it can't be blocked by whatever. Like that's just like a regular mechanic. This is like a whole new thing where you're interacting with something that's been in Magic this whole time, and that's very strange, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so they also spoiled a new creature for the Zendikar deck, which is Veteran Ward Leader for 1 green and a white. And it's a human soldier ally.
Yeah, so those
allies
are coming back.
And then, so the only reason we know they're super coming back is because it says one of the abilities on this card is tap another untapped ally you control. And this thing gains your choice of first strike, vigilance.
Vigilance again.
Damn it.
Words are hard. That's your thing. Ryke's thing is math is hard.
Small, difficult words.
I am the Marcel of this fucking podcast. You can't pronounce shit right.
They're gonna get even more salty than he already is right now, dude. That guy is salty as shit right now.
Or trample until end of turn. So the allies are gonna be coming back. Super exciting, not really, kinda, maybe.
I wasn't around to play with allies, but I really don't feel like I'm that excited about it.
I think that basically you guys saying that makes me that I'm going to play allies then in this
makes sense.
standard.
That is your kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. It's just allies, even though it's in multiple colors, like I feel it's like a very white
They definitely
style
play
of
with
play.
that. It's like that, like flanking and shit like that, and banding and crap. Like a white
Yeah, it's
situation.
things. Yeah, like
So that's why I feel like LA is like a better version of that, but it's still fucking banding almost.
yeah. I just like all the creatures get different things from each other, and you can like use them as like combat tricks, and I don't know. It's just it's a cool thing.
Fucking fancier slivers.
Yeah, it's not going to blow my mind either, but I am excited to see like how powerful they could be, or how not powerful they could be, and just be
Just
like
your
tribal
fucking, like your
thing.
morph deck.
A morph deck, dude. I like. I consider it a manifest deck. Thank you.
Okay, excuse me. Your manifest deck. Excuse me. Manifest your destiny.
You know what though?
Losing.
Whisperwood Elemental is the boss.
Oh
though.
god, yeah, for sure. I'm not talking shit about him. That's a great card.
Yeah. Cloud form though.
Wild call.
I played Wild Call.
Yeah, well, you should have played Wild Call.
Yeah.
So to jump back real fast to GP San Diego, guess what?
Shit!
Guess what fucking deck won this motherfucker? A goddamn blue-red mill deck. Holy shit. So, there's been articles, and I think somebody played it at the Pro Tour. Of
Andrew Cunha. This is the deck I was trying to talk to, and you ended up leaving to shit, and you didn't really believe me that there could be a mill deck in standard, like how good it actually is. Well, you didn't really respect it enough that I wanted to talk to you about it, and you said, I'm going to go poop instead.
Of all the people, you should have been the most excited about.
Yeah,
it.
which is why I was surprised. Like, really? Like, what?
Maybe
And so
poop.
I had that
Is it
budget
poop pudding,
deck
dude?
on Moto that I built based off the Cuneo deck, and now this is a similar thing, except for obviously it's the real version where it has the 4 Jaces.
Has the Jaces and Dig Through Time. Anyways, so you can look up the deck list on website or Google or figure it out. But this deck took down the fucking GP, and I forgot that I'd gotten an email for the Magic Online beta because they're bringing leagues back, which I'm talking about two different things at the same time, but trust me, they'll fit together. They're bringing leagues back, and I'm not sure where the announcement is, but it was funny how they worded it, where they're like, because Magic Online, or just Magic in general, is super notorious for, like, giving these bullshit, like, statements or bullshit updates.
Because they announced this 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
It's been, like, longer than that.
Yeah, so they've announced it a long time ago, oh, we're bringing leagues back, and then they'll do, like, an update, and they're like, we're working on leagues. When will it come out soon? And next year sometime, and then 2 years later. And that's an actual fact. They did that. So anyways, they made this announcement where they're like, when will you get it? Was the like headline or whatever, or when will it happen? And the first word was soon. And I was like, okay, this whole announcement thing is bullshit.
It's another lame fuck around.
Yeah, dude, I'm waiting with Half-Life 3 to leak. So we're waiting for you.
Yeah. So I ended up like going further down the article, and they actually gave like a date to when they're going to roll out
like
leagues.
April or something like that, or when is it?
No, it's like
It's like the end of this month.
at the
Is
end
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the 26th.
Is it April?
No, I think it's the pre-release for Zendikar. So it's end of next month.
Okay.
So that's when they're going to put it on the
That's
fucking
right, yeah, September,
servers.
yeah.
And then, but that's not when it's going to be like playable. They had this whole thing where that's when we're rolling it out, and then it's only going to be able to be played by a select few because they don't want to fucking overload everything like they always do.
So we get to play then, that's sweet.
Yeah, so we get to play it. So, I was playing the beta where the beta was just for leagues, and so I ended up making this mill deck on there, and I was able to play it because there's no way I'm buying 4 fucking Jaces online or anything like that. So I was able to play this deck, and this deck is kind of fucking crazy. It reminds me of my Pauper deck, where it's like you don't do a whole bunch, but in one turn, you're playing like 3 or 4 or 5 spells, and you're drawing and discarding a whole bunch just to be able to find your pieces you need.
Looting like a motherfucker.
Yeah, so, but the other thing is, everybody else in the fucking Leagues beta is playing this fucking deck because it's so popular right now. So you're just going up against a bunch of other mill decks. But it was just like fun to actually play the deck. And most of the cards in here,
which, by the way, that was my sideboard against like other control or against other mill decks. And I have Cavern Skulker in the side.
yes.
Because they're going to get all of the removal to get rid of their angers because I have no creatures either. Well, all of a sudden my Cavern Skulker is just uncontested and just huge.
So I ended up taking out the Dig Through Time.
Me too.
I would talk to other mill players, like we'd be in the mirror match. I'm like, how do you like dig through time? And they're like, yeah, it's horrible. I don't really like it. Like, I understand what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to find you another
Sphinx's tutelage.
Sphinx's tutelage. But I feel like every game I always got one, if not more, just by drawing cards.
Yeah.
So I don't need the dig through time. So I took it out and I put in Chasm Skulker just because I like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Me too.
just because I like that card.
Yeah.
And like I never get to play with it. And in this instance, where you're drawing so many fucking cards, you can just fucking chump block it early on when it's a 3/3 or 4/4, and then you have additional chump blockers.
Yeah.
Or you can just get it so fucking big and leave it on defense, or even sneak it in for damage.
I'm fucking honest. I'm stoked that you don't have the same idea as me on that point because I'm not seeing that around. But I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Maybe not like main board game 1, but game 2 and then sideboard all the removal out. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, like you said, that was my thought too, was like, I'm not really trying to then sneak in damage and win with it. I'm trying to like get a big chump blocker that they eventually kill. Well, now I have chump blockers for days.
Your whole sideboard should be nothing but like this Planeswalker package and then like 4 Chasm Skulkers. And they just go up against you and they're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
But the deck is pretty fun. I don't think it's gonna like, I don't know, now that, people are aware of its power, I think it can be hated out pretty easily. You just get, you fucking...
enchantment destruction.
But what is it, Dramoka's command or whatever?
Yeah.
Where they have to sacrifice a enchantment, and then you sideboard into some...
Back to Natures.
Back to Natures, or that 1 mana 1 white.
One of the things people are playing to combat Dramoka's command is Encase in Ice in the sideboard. Because they're able to flash that in, so you sacrifice that instead of your Sphinx's tutelage.
Right.
I don't really like that overall. It's just like, if I come across the Abzan deck, I'm just going to go ahead and fight it through and try to beat it the other way because I didn't like that spot being taken up by Encase in Ice.
You know what else is like that? Fucking negate. We could have negate.
Exactly. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I'd rather have negate and things that can be used for other things besides just for Dramoka's command.
Yeah.
Than have Encase in Ice.
I just thought it was really interesting that a mill, like when you think mill, you think like blue-black or blue-black-white or mono-blue. You don't think fucking red.
Red, yeah.
But in this case, it definitely worked out. So that's
awesome.
That's a thing.
And dead air.
What else were we going to talk about? So they ended up sticking with the new mulligan rule, or as they're calling it, the Vancouver mulligan rule.
I like how it's like after Canadian stuff because it's like so polite. It's like, oh yeah, go ahead, let's have a better game.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that where the Pro Tour was?
I don't give a shit. It's funnier my way.
Oh, you want to scry, eh?
Hey, well, go ahead, buddy. Let's have a good game of Magic, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you can scry a good card, eh?
Put that land on the bottom, eh?
Actually, I was just talking to one of my buddies who lives in Canada, and there's like some places where it's just horrible. So really, our stereotypes are.
No, I've heard that there's like Canadian people that like hate other Canadian people because they're like
the Canadians hate the French Canadians.
Cold dickheads, basically. I guess.
No, but I mean, like, I don't know. This guy was talking. Maybe watches too much Fox News. I guess they don't have that in Canada. But he was just like, I don't know.
I don't know why that was hilarious, but it was.
he has problems, but he's just saying how horrible it is up there. I'm like, oh, well, I'm down. And he's like, what about down there? Like, is everyone getting killed and raped like they're saying on the news? I'm like, no, everything's pretty much fine. Like, I leave my car door unlocked at night. Like, I don't really care. And he's like, oh my God, like, what the hell's going on? Like, he just thought it was amazing. He's like, I thought they were just killing everybody down there.
Okay. Well, this guy is slightly paranoid, not really with it for like
I don't know.
over
Well, we have like 30 homicides a year in San Diego, I think, or something.
I don't know. I think he was
nothing to do with.
Well, Detroit's like 800 a month. So.
Yeah, Detroit is different.
I think he was thinking of like Southern California in general, which includes like Los Angeles. So that kind
Mexico.
of. Yeah, nailed it.
Donald Trump.
So
We're
anyway,
all rapists and thieves. It's true though.
So back to the rule. They're gonna stick with the rule and make it official for the pre-release. When the pre-release starts for Battle of Zendikar, they're going to make it official.
Nice part.
But they're not going to make any special rulings for older formats. So I'm really curious how people are going to try and abuse this with...
So you're saying that they're going to be in older formats as well?
Yeah,
see, I don't agree with that. I think that's a bad idea.
But I don't know when it's... What the fuck card am I thinking of? The Delver Secrets. So I'm interested to see how people are going to try and abuse it with Delver. But other than that, I don't really know, like, what other ways it can be abused.
Some broken things with it somehow. There's just gotta be.
Well, not necessarily broken, but just...
Well, cheated in. Like
they're going... What it's going to do is do what they wanted it to do, is smooth out the fucking game. So there's no, like, feel bads of drawing too many lands or not enough lands or shit like that.
So, and I agree with that, but I think that it's gonna be somehow abused and broken, where it's gonna be like, oh my god, why did we do this in Modern and Legacy?
Well, I think only Delver can do that, because I don't think there's really any other...
I hear what you're saying, and I agree, but there's so many things that we don't actually just see right away that somebody finds some way to abuse.
Yeah,
I think it's something maybe like, what is it, Serum Visions, where you draw a card and it's Cry 2, is that the one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that could be a good one where you have that in your opening hand and, like, you know what card you're going to draw. You know what I mean? Like, right off the bat. I don't know. It's very small, but it's still, like, advantageous.
That and the probe, so you know the next card you described as well.
Something like that. You know, I bet there's a little bit. I don't think it's going to be broken, though. I just think it's going to be, like, you get that extra little bump, and it's like, ah, shit.
But Delver's already winning, like, 8 to 10% of all tournaments. So now you're making Delver better. It's like...
It's possible, yeah. It's possible it's going to be a little that much better, and you're like, ah, shit.
I think Delver's held at bay in Modern, just since they banned Treasure Cruise and all that stuff.
Well, no, it was already doing well before Cruise, and then Cruise helped it, but it's still a legitimate deck. That's
like
still that is the like
Grixis
last time I saw the stats, it's still like the most like winningest deck as far as like continuous, like at that 8 to 10% mark. It's still like the highest one right now.
Really,
and they banned Pod at 12% winnings. So it's like right at that spot of like what it's and now it's gonna get better with this Scry situation.
Imagine if they fucking
it's kind of awkward.
Delver. Oh my god,
it's uncommon. Exactly,
so
but that takes away the entire deck. And that's the main card for that deck.
According to MTG Goldfish, Grixis Control is 9.77% of the meta, and so is Splinter Twin.
Okay, well then, the stats I saw, it was other video I was watching not that long ago. So, I mean, it's a little longer than, like, the most recent thing. So,
right.
But I know that Delver is a fucking deck that is constantly doing well. So, I understand, though. So,
I think that's about it. That wraps it up, right?
Tiny Leaders.
Oh, yeah, Tiny Leaders. Let's talk about some
Tiny Leaders.
Tiny Leaders. Only 3 converted mana cost.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good with the syllables.
Man, I need more energy. I need to have a couple of good ones like that.
All right, so whip it out, Sauce.
Sorry. I had a little itch up my ass, and I was buying some cards. I bought some, like, collected companies, and I bought, like, an Abrupt Decay and some other little stuff. And so I was looking around, I'm like, you know what? My Tiny Leaders decks are good, but, it's been a while. I think I bought that Scavenge one, put it together maybe like February or something like that this year, or maybe even a little bit earlier than that. That's been a little minute, and I'm like, you know what? I think we need to step it up and get some better stuff. So, well, I don't want to say better, but, something new. So I was looking around. They have, like, that site that's just, like, the definitive Tiny Leaders, whatever, where you can see all the commanders. These are the commanders for Tiny Leaders, and it doesn't show the banned ones or whatever. So I'm looking it up in each color, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. I looked up that Bant flyer. It's like an angel. It's for 3 mana. It's a 3/3, and then you can pay 1 and a white and put a counter on it. And I'm like, that's a dope card. But then I was thinking about the colors, which I really enjoy those colors. Probably my favorite 3-color set in Magic. But it's just the same fucking cards I'm playing on my Shu Yun deck. You're playing blue and white. You kind of already know what you're playing. So I was like, this is fucking annoying. I guess I'm just adding like that and like Scavenge Goose and like some other whatever stuff, in green. So I was like, that's kind of stupid. So instead, I decided to look at some like monocolored decks, and I saw this card, Zozu the Punisher. And it's a 3 mana, 2/2. Whenever a land comes into play, it deals 2 damage to that land's controller. So, like, either player. I'm thinking, like, alright, maybe this is playable. I don't really know what the deck wants to do, It sounds, like, cool that you can get, like, a ton of damage. Kind of like Eidolon of the Great Revel style. So this deck, I figured it'd be with cards like that, I'm thinking, alright, well, I gotta look up, maybe some burn spells.
Cards like what?
And cards like, like the do 2 damage when something happens, you know what I mean? Like, basically to stop people from playing their lands, stop people from playing their spells, and was thinking of I was just looking up decks online and seeing some ideas, so I fucking liked the idea and I put it together. So it only plays a few creatures, and they're all just creatures like this guy. So this guy does 2 damage for lands, the other guy does 2 damage for 3 mana cost or less, which is everything.
So Zuzu and Eidolon and the Great Rogue?
Yeah. And then Grim Lavamancer, I had one of those, so that one is just exile 2 cards from your graveyard, does 2 damage to creature or player. So it's a way for me to get around myself where I'm not actually playing a spell, but I am still doing damage while they're sitting back worrying about what spell they can play, what's the best spell because it's going to do damage to them. And let me see, what other creatures am I actually playing? I played Chandra's Phoenix because that one will just keep coming back. I don't think it's especially a great card, but it is flying. It's 2 power in the air, and it'll come back because I'm playing tons of sorcery and instant damage spells.
And it has haste.
And it has haste. So I figured it'd just keep coming back and be a nice threat I can have in the graveyard. I'm thinking of there's probably one other creature in here besides Chandra's Phoenix. I'm trying to see what it is. Maybe not. I think that's actually all it is. Maybe just those 4 creatures. Otherwise, that's burn, so it has, the lightning bolts and all that stuff. I'm playing Nizium Mortars, and I'm playing about 5 board wipes. And so that's just the basic package of okay, I'm playing red, I gotta play this stuff. So now I'm trying to look at what's more tricky, what's more flavorful in the deck that's gonna go along with this, punishing my player for playing his spells. And I found a 2-mana artifact that does 2 damage when a new land comes into play. So that's the same thing as my commander, but as an artifact for 2 mana. This card called Smoke, it's 2 red. No player may untap more than 1 creature during his or her untap phase. So I don't play any creatures, and if I am, I only have 1. So now I just get to punish all the elves decks and fairies decks and tokens decks.
Except for when you have Copperhorn Scout I did in our game.
But there are ways where you're just they swing in, and you took damage, and then you play this, and oh my god, I can only attack 1 creature. That's fucking garbage. So it just once again puts them off pace from just doing a bunch of damage, and lets my artifacts and enchantments just ping them down every turn. I put Browbeat in there because why the hell not?
I like that.
Yeah, it deals 5 damage to a player unless they let me draw 3 cards, or vice versa. I draw 3 cards unless they take 5 damage.
So either way, you're 5th of your life total, or I get to draw 3 cards, which is going to definitely get you more
totally
than 5
fine.
Probably. So.
One of them that's a total dick is a player may not untap more than 1 land during their untap phase.
Which is horrible, except for against my Nykthos and my elves.
It's the same thing though, is the other thing about the untapping creatures. It's just I am also not untapping lands, but as long as I have my enchantments out there that punish them, 2 damage for everything they do, whether it be land or spell, that this helps them just have to work for that, and so it slows the game down to multiple turns, where they're just taking damage in the meantime, and hopefully in the meantime I'm also just drawing 1 mana burn spells or things of that nature. Same kind of thing, Crawl Space, 3 mana, colorless artifact, no more than 2 creatures can attack you each combat. Same kind of thing, it's just slowing them down. What is this, Trinisphere, 3 mana, basically all spells cost 3 mana. If it costs less than 3 mana, too bad, now it costs 3 mana. So it'll cost whatever the mana cost is, plus more colorless. If it's 1 in a black, it'll cost 2 in a black now. Price of Glory, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. Because it's tiny leaders and because everyone's playing as many colors as they can in a leader, 3-color leaders, so they can have a wide range of all the old badass legacy cards, mainly the blue-red or the blue-white or whatever else. This guy is, actually no, that's not the same one. Either way, I have a card that, it's 2 mana for an instant, and it does 2 damage to each player for each non-basic land they play, or have in the battlefield. So I have
the red version of my Halls of Gemstone, in a sense where I'm locking you out, but you're burning them out.
Yeah, so the game I just played, with Knife, is he had 7, right? 6 it was all non-basics that he had. So he had 6 lands, and so I hit him for 12. And a 2 mana instant speed spell that hits him for 12 is ridiculous.
Pretty rough.
I understand that it could be dead against a monocolored deck, but the idea that most decks you're going to play are not monocolored in tiny leaders, this thing is going to do some crazy fucking damage. So yeah, that's Price of Progress. So Price of Glory is whenever a player taps a land for mana during another player's turn, destroy that land. So if you're playing against blue, and they're going to want to play shit not on their turn, on your turn, this thing destroys their land. So once it comes down, they're like, okay, well, I guess I'm not playing anything. I'm not playing counters anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to do like end of turn brainstorms or any of that fun stuff, you know. So that's cool that it takes away. And the same thing like mid combat, Path to Exiles and Swords to Plowshares and stuff like that. It just eliminates all that, which is fucking rad. So that's what the deck really is doing, though. It's just a few creatures, you know, a little bit of damage, maybe not. I'm not even really attacking with them, but they just do damage around the back door. You know, they just prevent them from doing stuff.
Backdoor beauty.
Backdoor beauty. I have a Pyrostatic Pillar. Whenever a creature or whenever a player casts a spell, it does 2 damage to him. Whenever a player successfully casts a spell, it does 2 damage to him. There's another identical card. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, is that much to the controller. So all my burn spells, instead of like having to waste them on the player, I can actually hit their creatures, and then it'll hit the player the same. So that's kind of like nice value for it. Molten Vortex is a card from Origins, 1 mana enchantment. Pay 1 red, discard a land card, does 2 damage to each creature or player. This card's like not like, I don't want to say it's like super playable, but in this, when you're only untapping 1 land a turn, and you're drawing a bunch of lands late game, and they're not doing shit because you've stopped them with all your other enchantments, this just allows you to just get your land cards, and instead of just play them, wasting your turn, you get to do 2 damage. And that 2 damage just happening over and over again gets to be fucking ridiculous. So it's usually good for a good 6 to 8 damage in a game. So there's
the
that.
card that you're going to throw in is Magnetic Insight, also from
Yeah, you 1 mana, discard a land, and then draw 2 cards. So it's just a nice. I have extra lands in the deck. I'm playing 20 lands, which is 2 over the average for tiny leaders. Supposed to be playing
2,
18.
almost doing 3 over.
Almost 3, yeah. 17 or 18 lands is normal, but I want extra lands because I'm destroying lands. I'm destroying my own lands, and I want to discard them to do extra damage. I think the last notable card is Shrine of Burning Rage. It's 2 mana for an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, or whenever you cast a red spell, put a charge counter on it. Eventually you can pay 3 and tap it and sacrifice it, and it does the damage equal to the number of counters on it to target creature or player. So basically every turn this artifact is going to get bigger on its own from upkeep, and then whenever you cast a red spell it gets bigger. So, you know, after 5 turns it'll probably be around like 8 counters on it, and then so I can tap it and do 8 damage to a creature or player. If I have the other thing out, I just do 8 damage to a creature, and then it reflects the 8 damage to a player. You know, just ways like that. So I'm really just trying to just hold off the attacks and just do a bunch of damage to the face. But rather than just being straight burn where I'm just wasting 1 card, you know, 1 for 1ing, 3 damage, whatever, this lets it just sit back, and whenever they do something, it punishes them for doing it. So that was my idea. I'm going to keep making it better. Like, I played some games, and the deck that Knife's going to talk about, I lost my ass to it because it's like a very similar deck. But when we're both just like petering out and not doing anything and waiting to be like, you know, for things for us to do damage.
Land hitting like a motherfucker on Knife's side.
When we're just sitting there doing nothing and waiting for the other player to play something so it does like damage. He's playing the same strategy. His does 3 damage while mine does 2, so he was able to just walk me, dude. Just walk me easily. He also had better draws, but besides that, his deck is just better against mine. But when playing a more standard deck like Elves or his Control Mill deck, then I was able to do a little better. I still lost to Elves, but it was like, he just had, you had the correct answers.
You're definitely going to win several games. I think it's going to be similar to how my deck versus your regular Shu Yun deck is, where it's a real 50-50 back and forth.
Yeah, but if you draw more answers.
But I happen to have, in the match we played with your new deck against my Elves, I happen to have the answers. When you play that card, you only have 1 land. Well, I already had several creatures on the board, and I had nicked those, so I was able to just, okay, I get to play everything I want to.
Yeah, exactly.
And the next time, I was like, only have 1 creature. Well, after having that go for 1 turn, I top decked the Copperhorn Scout that says, whenever this card attacks, untap all your other creatures. So I untapped, pumped, and like hit you for 12 right then, and then I was able to get ready to do it again next turn. By then, you got like 5, and you just scooped.
The cards that I have that are like that, the ones that, you know, you only untap 1 creature, that's like really powerful, and he just erased that shit from his 1 mana, 1/1 elf dude. And then, like you said, the same thing, Nykthos, because he's able to generate green mana from his other creatures, he was able to untap just that 1 land, which was Nykthos, use that every time and generate 7-8 mana, you know, and I'm like, well, that just eliminated it, you know, those 2 cards were dead, and I thought those would be like the strongest against you and guy, you know, decks like yours, whatever. I guess Elves is a little harder because you guys make mana, but a lot of other, you know, decks, they're just going to be having cards in their hand and not be able to play shit, not be able to attack, you know, and let me just hit them for 2 to 4 damage each turn until they're fucking dead. And yeah, you just had fucking answers.
It did really, really, really well against my mill deck, just because it's like whenever I do anything, I take damage. So it's almost like kind of like a mirror sort of thing, because whenever you do anything, you mill. You know, that's how my deck's set up. But his was just a heck of a lot faster and more efficient, because I need to play multiple spells in a turn and play every land I get, and so it was just able to take me down really quickly. I won one game, I think.
If he milled 6 cards, if he made me mill 6 cards, he probably took 4 damage to do that.
Yeah,
and so he had to like really balance that out. And that was just like, once again, what was the enchantments on the board. That wasn't even me playing a creature or actually just a general burn spell, So it was able to just like take down half his life from just him playing his own shit, and then my normal cards were able to do the rest of it, stuff like that. He was just looking at his cards like, fuck, I can't play shit right now, So that was a good feeling that I was able to win a couple games against that. But
one thing you talked about was like having to like lower your mana, your mana.
Yeah, a lot of the sweet enchantments are 3 mana, and that's annoying as shit, because you want to have those things out early, because that's what is like keeping the game to go longer for you to win. And I wasn't able. He would have 5 elves out by the time I got my first enchantment out.
Part of my advantage was getting so many elves out in front of getting hurt to play the elves.
Yeah.
So like me getting that fast start underneath of it was like what really saved me moving forward.
Yeah, he was hurting himself on elves, and he still was playing like as many elves as he could during a turn, because he's like, well, fuck it, I gotta take the damage because I gotta like race, I gotta win.
I think I actually had my biggest glimpse of nature turn against you. Actually, I played 4 creatures and drew 4 cards off a glimpse of nature in one turn, but took 8 damage to do it. But it was okay, because at that point I was still like 20 health when I started doing that. So I was able to like just go ahead and go through that and go, okay, well now next turn I have the big swing win.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, and I have board wipes, and I only drew 1. My smallest board wipe, the one that the Pyroclasm one or whatever, that does 2 damage each creature. It's the only fucking board wipe I drew up against him, which is really bad, because I got like 5 of them, which is, so I was a little annoyed with that. I'm like, come on, just like one game, can we just please get a fucking board wipe so this could be like, the way it's supposed to be played,
I was playing around that a little bit, because I knew, because you talked about it a little bit before, how you had like 5, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I need to go ahead and hold back a little bit, because you had that enchantment on the board when 7 lands into the field on your upkeep, destroy all lands.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, between that, I'm gonna hold back these like 2 lands in hand, and hold back at least 2 creatures, and then okay, I'm gonna go ahead, and I'm already ahead of you, so I'm gonna lock you out. Even though you board wiped me, I still had 2 elves, so I was able to regenerate 1 and then play my leader after that.
Yeah, and that's way worked in your favor big time. Like,
so I threw the land down and blew up all the lands, and was like, okay, well now I still have fire to have 2 elves and 2 lands on my hand.
Elves is resilient. I mean, it can build faster than any deck, and so even if I board wipe, even lands included, he's still faster than I am. Getting back to where I was. You know what I mean? He's still faster. So. But that's pretty much the deck. I'm going to keep working on it, and I'm like really excited because it's like something I've never played before, and it's way different.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's really, really strange. So I'm going to keep working on it and just try to make it as good as possible. I just got to lower the curve, and so I can get things out there quicker. Like Eidolon the Great Revel's 2 mana, so that's a great card. And like that Burning Rage where it gets the counters every time, that's a great card. That's only 2 mana. So cards like that need to stay. But some of the enchantments that are higher cost, I need to find replacements that are lower cost. And, I had like a 3 mana burn spell, and that's not going to cut it. Even like 2 mana burn spells, just like, unless it's some crazy damage or like something like that, I mean, it's weak, man. It's weak. So I need to work on it, but.
Shit's weak.
Talk about your deck. Your deck is a little more,
asshole-like?
Yeah, it's the most asshole deck I think I've ever seen.
Okay, so the whole reason I built this deck, I proxied it, but the whole reason I put it together, or the whole reason I sleeved it up, because I didn't put it together, the whole reason I did it is because Hot Sauce was texting us like, haha, fuckers, I just bought this Tiny Leaders deck, and you guys are going to hate me, blah, blah, blah.
Basically being cocky, saying, I'm going to be a dick.
Yeah, pretty much.
I said I was going to lose, but I said, you're going to hate me the whole time.
Yeah. So, in response to that, I said, no,
No, little one.
He shook his little finger.
No. I will be the one hated, okay? So I remember seeing a list like this a while ago, and I tried to find it in my bookmarks, but apparently I never bookmarked it, so I had to go on Tapped Out and look up the list, and I pretty much just copied it straight off because I've never played a deck like this. The deck is called A-Cups, a tiny rack deck.
It is a clever name.
He's got
It is
jokes.
super clever.
And the dude's name is Little Sid. So shout out to you, good sir. There was a bunch of decks like this, but I liked his the most, except for the fact that he put his general in under creatures. So technically, it's only a 49 card deck. Because you put your general where the general goes, but he also listed it as it being in the rest of the 49.
Right, like tapped out does it already like adds that creature in for you once you put it in the commander spot.
Right. So this is basically a mix between like a Pox deck and an 8-rack deck. So
already, fuck you.
Yeah, so the reason it's
Fucking death and taxes, bro.
It's a fucking dick is because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 land destruction spells, and there's 2 lands that destroy your opponent's lands. So
8.
Wasteland and Ghost Quarter. So there's 8 ways for me to destroy your lands.
So what you're telling me is you're basically trying to play Legacy in Tiny Leaders.
Pretty much.
Just like, not let you do anything. You have no lands. You can't do shit.
Yeah.
And fuck you.
And my win conditions are the Rack and Shrieking Affliction. Basically, when there's little to no cards in your opponent's hand, they do damage to them. And I'm also playing Pox and Smallpox. And my leader is Marlin of the Morn Song. So it's a 2/3 for 1 black legendary creature, elf wizard. Players can't draw cards. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, searches his or her library for a card, puts it in his or her hand, then shuffles his or her library. That's a lot of his or hers.
Yeah, but it's that same thing of like what I was trying to do, but in a creature form that did, once again, 1 more damage, and it also stops you from drawing cards at all. So like it's just mine but better in that one sense that I'm trying to stop you from doing stuff. I don't have anything that says stop drawing cards. I would love to have. I mean, I know you get to search for one, but it's not the same. But for some reason, it's like different that you're not just freely drawing whatever, and you're going to get like as much advantage as you can.
It's different because you're losing 3 life every time to do it.
And you're losing 3 life too. It's just a pain in the ass.
So the thing is, it's lose 3 life, which is good because with Rack or Affliction, that's like 6 life a turn. And the only thing that sucks is I play it and then it's your turn and you get to go tutor first. But if the creature stays alive and it comes back to my turn, my tutors are usually a whole lot better than your tutors.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
right.
I have discard spells, I got kill spells, I got land destruction, I got all sorts of cool shit. And I also have, Crucible of Worlds. So basically, if I get the Crucible out and one of my kill lands, I can just pretty much hardlock you, and blow up one of your lands.
That's why you're doing that.
Yeah, blow up one of your lands every turn, and I can just keep playing my my Wasteland or whatever from the graveyard.
Ugh.
Jesus.
And it's only playing 1 actual other creature, and it's Nether Spirit. It's a 2/2, 1 and black. At the beginning of your upkeep, if this thing is the only creature card in your graveyard, you may return it to play. So basically, if it dies, it's returning to play every time, because there's no other creature cards in my graveyard. And it's just a shitty fucking deck. Like, shitty to play against, great to fucking win with. We generally like...
If you feel like a complete asshole when you're fucking people...
Oh, yeah.
It's just every upkeep, you're just like, how much damage am I taking? Okay, 3 from your fucking commander, and then 3 from Shrieking Affliction, and then 2 from fucking, the Rack.
Yeah.
And like all this shit, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm just taking so much fucking damage, and I'm not even doing anything.
Yeah, I have 1 card in hand and 2 lands, and it's turn 12. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and mine require you to do stuff. You don't even do anything.
Little side note though is like you've already talked about like you don't plan on like playing this all the time. Like you're gonna play it a little bit. You're not just gonna put the money into it and buy it.
Oh fuck no!
Because it's one of those things like the whole EDH has the 100% and 75% rule. Like you can go ahead and build this deck, but with your play group of friends, they're not going to play with you anymore if you make this deck and play it all the time.
Yeah, no one wants to be
because
that
it's such
dick.
an attrition deck of. I get Cascade, nothing, and yeah, I mean it's like, oh my god, like you sit there turn 6 with no lands on the field, and you're just doing nothing, holding your dick in your hand, no hands, no cards in hand, and you're getting hit for 6 a turn. Like it's not a deck that you're going to make friends with.
It's definitely not fun, and it's decks that this cast is pretty much against. We don't like playing these decks. We don't advocate playing these decks. We don't like playing against them, playing with them. That's why we don't play Legacy. That's why we don't play Vintage. That's why we don't build shitty.
Part of it
decks
is
like
also
this.
the money for Legacy.
Oh
Vintage,
yeah,
but,
obviously.
Yeah.
But we don't find that form of Magic entertaining, and the only reason I did it is because Hot Sauce was like, I got this new deck, you're going to hate me. I'm like, no.
I'm the biggest dick around here, come on.
Swinging that low-hanging dick, bro.
Yeah.
That big slit.
I mean, like, so I consider this like a tier 0 deck, meaning that it's not fun to play against, and it's going to lock you out of the game, and you're not going to be able to do shit. And we don't like playing those type of decks. You know, we have tier 1 decks, like Hot Sauce's fucking Jeskai deck and my Mill deck and the Elf deck. Like those, I feel like those are tier 1 decks. Those are
proven by us going to FNM and winning it.
Yeah, those are
even still, like when you look at like they have like the online same thing as like the a Goldfish or whatever it was, where like it tells you like what are the top most played commanders and like what's winning, whatever, blah blah blah. And our leaders are like top. Like they're the ones that have played the most. Even like your Marik dude, he's also one of the tops.
So like
I think decks that have like more money into them, but ours are very well refined.
Yeah.
Without spending $2,000 on the deck.
Yeah.
These tiny leaders we're got a good amount of money into it, but it's not like we're fucking building a legacy deck.
I think statistically, like Geist and the Elves decks are the strongest decks. I think that's like statistically those are the most powerful.
So I'm looking. I just looked it up on Goldfish and percent of the meta, not like how much it wins. But Shuyun deck is 8.41% of the meta.
It's the top.
That's the top.
Okay.
And then we go down to 6th or 7th, and it's my deck, my leader, Marie Creebeer, which I don't think it's the actual like mill deck.
No, it's just that they use it for those colors.
Yeah, they use it for those colors, and that's 4.64. And then right after that is Azuri, you know,
my leader,
the elf deck leader, which is 4.35.
Okay, I still thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was higher than that.
So, I mean,
what's that Geist at? Is he at number 2? Oh, 6?
Geist is 6.
Alicia
what's number 2? Oh, Alicia?
Yeah, and then 3rd is Anafenza.
Alicia's not going to win shit. Anafenza's even worse.
So
I agree. My Murder deck was okay, but it wasn't broken like your fucking Shunyun or my Elves or your Mill. I mean,
you got to admit, like the Elves is way stronger, and it's like that much lower. Like, come on, people need to understand. Like the Elves are like ridiculous. Come on.
So like all the other decks I've put together, like. Mill is tier 1, this fucking land destruction deck is tier 0, my counters deck is like tier 3, my tokens deck is tier 2, just because when I go up against like, you know, the Elves deck or the Shuyung deck, like, I just get fucking annihilated, and once every 5 or 10 games, like, I can do something ridiculous, like make 20 fucking 1/1 Death Touch flyers, and then have them turn into 6/6s, and then attack for, 96.
That was an amazing game.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Stuff like that can happen, but that's, like, very rare and not the norm.
The reason we play these other decks is because, like, I don't want to say, like, the Mill deck can't really qualify under this thing. But, like, the Elves and Shuyun are very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, no matter what you draw, for some reason you're just going to get, like, this really, really good value. Yeah. The Mill deck I wouldn't call it consistent. It's very powerful. But it's not like, consistency means that, like, you always win by, like, milling, and, like, you're always milling by, like, this certain amount of damage each turn, or this amount, each turn or whatever.
Right.
That's not the case. This thing, the Mill deck could, like, not mill a card for 10 turns, but then come around and just mill you out in, like, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not like you're just simply getting 10 cards a turn or something like that. It's not that consistency. But the Elves deck is consistent, where, like, you are getting 2 Elves a turn, no matter what. You know what I mean? And that's just, 2 creatures a turn is more, 2 decent-sized creatures a turn is more than any other deck. You know what I mean?
Like, most of the time when I win my for the most part, like, I'll ping a couple points of damage early, but nearly every game I win is with, like, a 25 to 36 point swing, like, one swing.
Right.
And while your Shunyun is similar, you'll be hitting more damage than I do early on.
Mine's
but your biggest thing is, like, hitting for 18 damage when you're getting a rebound.
Mine's consistent because of the value creatures. Mm-hmm. It's because, like, I mean, you have to agree that, like, those colors play the most powerful creatures in, like, in the format, basically. You know what I mean? Geist, what is Geist? I mean, is Geist not one of the best 3-mana creatures in the fucking whole world of Magic, you know?
Is Geist 3? I thought it was 2.
No, Geist is 3.
Ah.
So like Geist, Rymaz I'm not going to say is, but like they're, and like True Name Nemesis, like, is that not one of the most powerful fucking creatures in Magic? That's the whole thing with it. It's not like it swarms the board and goes super wide and whatever else, but like, what are you gonna do? You're playing fucking.
It's kind of like how Modern is. Like, you play all these creatures, and like, and there's no vanilla creatures. You are trying to pack as much value into what you're doing in your deck as possible, and that's what you've got going on in yours. And I've got value in mine, but it's value in synchronicity.
And if they were by themselves, some of these elves are just garbage.
Elves are garbage, yeah.
The synchronous level of it all is just incredible, and how many things they work together and do.
Right.
There's definitely still some room in my mill deck to put better cards in there. It's just...
I think your deck is fine.
I think it's fine, but there's definitely room to improve. Like the Psychic Strike, the counter target, 3 mana counter target spell, they mill 2. Like, that's just more for like flavor, and I used to play it back in Standard, so that's why it's in
I agree, that's a pretty weak card. Yeah. But I mean, it still does work, but I mean, it doesn't do the work that the other cards do.
Yeah, exactly. And
milling 2 is not what you want to play when you have all of the Magic cards available to you, and the best you can come up with is milling 2. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
And there's other like counter spells I can throw in there that are cheaper and more effective, and yada yada. But it's the whole like Jason alt 75% thing. It's that we're not going to make decks so good that they're not fun to play against. We're going to make decks that are very good, but are still in contention with the other decks, and not... Sure, you're going to get frustrated, but you're still going to be able to play Magic and have fun. Unlike the Pox deck, which, like... Yeah. I wasn't even having fun. When I was playing it, I was like, this
shut the
sucks.
fuck up. You were laughing so hard.
Well, yeah, but not like... You know,
what is fun? I think fun means laughter, Dick. I've never seen you laugh so hard from every spell you cast. You're like,
giggly little bitch.
Yeah. But I mean, like... shut up. It was fun that first game.
Also, Shu Yun did beat you.
Yes.
With the most novice player ever.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And what I mean by that is you never played the deck, that's all.
I will say this, like, I do think that our current Tier 1 decks, our Mill, our Shu Yun and Elves, are more than 75%. As far as,
I think it's more than 75, but it's not, unbearable now.
But, yeah, I think it's above 75%, but our meta game is above 75%. Like, we're doing broken things, but we're all doing broken things. It's not like we're someone showing up with a tier 3 and just getting.
But there's no infinite combos.
No, of course.
There's no things like that, which there are available infinite combos, and we're not doing that kind of stuff. So.
Well, there's ways to be a dick with these decks, but we're not doing it. We're like half chubbed with these decks because we could easily throw in Silence into mine and Hot Sauce's deck and just throw that on Isochron Scepter, and you can't play Magic for the rest of the game. You just watch me play, and that's fucking dick move. Nobody wants that.
And we all have certain cards that lock each other out. Like I play Halls of Gemstone, which on your upkeep you choose one color. You guys are both playing 3-color decks, so that fucks you over. But you're playing Meddling Mage and Nevermore, which completely screws over my strategy, because if you lock out my leader...
I don't play Nevermore. But
Knife plays Nevermore on the sideboard against me. So, like, there's certain cards that are kind of asshole cards, but we only play, like, one of them, maybe 2, that are, like, locking the other person out.
And it is as simple as that. You just remove that creature, and then that's the end of that, too.
Which is hard for me to do, because I only have, like, one. I have, like, Beast Within and Monarch, and that's about it.
And then also, like, we've adjusted to the meta of our group where I have main deck, artifact, and enchantment hate. Only one card main deck, but the sideboard has, like, 3 more options for me. So if I run into something like Halls of Gemstone or whatever, I can go to the sideboard and take care of it no problem. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, I mean, this has been a really good cast. Because Ryke's not here.
The best part is he'll never hear that, though, because he doesn't listen to what I'm fucking
guessing. Ooh, Ryke's tier 2 fucking Yasova deck.
Tier 2?
I'd say tier 2. Yeah, it does work. It's just that...
And I think it could do work if he fucking spent the time to refine it. It could be a deck, but he hasn't spent the time to refine it.
Yeah.
And it's just not good against our decks because he's so hell-bent on jacking vital creatures, where the elves just shit fucking creatures out. You have...
Well, I have, like, sacrifice effects in my scavenge deck to, like, avoid that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then my other one has protection. So, even, like, protection from, like, green in, like, the Mirror Crusader, and then just general protection spells, and, like, Mother of Ruin, and, like, what are you going to do about that stuff,
And then I'm not fucking upset if you take my creatures, like...
you throw, like, 2 or 3, and it's like, you don't really care.
I have, like, 9 creatures, but still,
no, it's not 9. There's no way you have 9.
Okay, there's, like, 7, but still, they're just for utility. They're not vital to the deck. So, he'll get there, If he were to go up against, like, other... Oh, this sounds like a dick. Like,
other tier 3 decks?
No, what I'm saying is, like, if he goes up against, like, people who are just getting into the format...
You could go against my Punisher deck.
Yeah. I mean,
is that what you're calling a red deck? Punisher?
It's definitely Punisher. First of all, this is the fucked up thing. The guy's name is Zozu the Punisher, but when I was thinking of what it does, I'm like, it's kind of like some weird death and taxes thing. It's just like stopping you from doing stuff while doing damage or whatever. But I was like, no, it punishes you for playing it. It's not like doing it on its own. Like you gotta interact with my deck to have it do the damage, so it punishes you. I mean, it named itself totally appropriate. And I'm like, oh, so I thought that in my head, and I'm like, that's the fucking name of the card. That's not right.
My deck's called the Big Black Dick.
Yeah, it is.
But
Anyways,
anyways,
the tiny black dick.
yeah, the tiny Big Black Dick. That's it.
That's it. That's way better. That's way better.
And that's it for If Lands Could Kill. This has been episode 49. I'm Knifecity.
Samhain Crow. What a great way to end the cast on a tiny big black dick.
And you know.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
We don't have anything to say.
Next week is episode 50.
I blew my wad by saying tiny
episode
Big Black
50.
Dick.
Be ready.
Are we actually doing anything special for it?
I've had some ideas, but I haven't bounced them off you guys.
I should talk
Dude,
about it.
no pants at all.
I'll do a no pants cast.
Yeah, we're doing a no pants cast.
I'll fucking.
Are we doing the homo chicken game? Like whoever gets closest?
You're hearing us blowing each other the whole time. I'll never know homo, dude. I'll never tag out for that. You know, you sliding your like hand up my thigh and shit, and I'm like, and you're like, when are you gonna quit? You know, when are you gonna give up?
Where's your wiener? There's so much hair in your thighs. What is happening?
You're gonna be like elbow up my ass, dude. Like the elbow deep of my ass, dude. And I'll be like, I'm not gonna say anything, dude.
Dude, yesterday I like trimmed my entire body hair.
Oh,
anywhere there was hair, I trimmed, except for my face.
Your ass.
My ass, like
Really?
Inside that, like I opened the cheeks up.
How did you not open the cast with this?
Oh my god! I'm like, that's hilarious.
I would have had way more energy this cast if we had funny shit like that was.
Well, I
That would have also was trying to like figure out the energy from re-saying what you said last week that you didn't record.
forgot that I did it until just now when we were talking about body hair. But okay, so I set the trimmer and like it's on a 2 or whatever, you know, like the electric shaver on a 2. That's pretty short, you know, at least for my body hair. You know, I can do like a 3 or a 4.
I do a 1 when I do like my body hair, but I don't do like my fucking. All I do is like my chest.
So, yeah, it kind of sucks just because
Your asshole's itchy as shit now?
No, my asshole's fine. But, like, everything's so short and sharp and prickly that, like, when I put pants on yesterday, I was like, it was like, you know when you feel like something push against the hair and it kind of pushes, like, in your pore? Like, that was just everywhere all over my whole body. And I was like, this is not good. And I shaved my balls, like, a week ago. And so, like, that was, like, rubbing against the short hair on my legs. And it was
Your
like...
balls are getting prickled by the inside hair thigh.
So it was...
Thigh hair?
Yeah, so I
It's
had...
not hair thigh.
Hair thigh, dude.
The hair thigh.
The hair thigh.
So
the inside hair thigh.
So I had to go back in the shower and shave my balls because it was driving me crazy. So now it's a little bit more tolerable, but still, you know, it's summer, it's hot. I wanted to get, you know, my summer coat, something, I don't know.
Sheared off. Yeah, I just shaved my face for that same kind of reason, basically.
Yeah, so it was good. I actually had Elena shave my butt though. I didn't shave it myself.
Dude, you could shave it yourself.
She went
dude. It's just
down
a
there?
guard.
Yeah.
What a dirty
Oh,
bitch.
she don't give a fuck. Remember, think about how they met. I mean, Jesus Christ.
No, we are so, like, don't give a shit about that stuff. We, like, talk to each other. Like, I'll sit down on the tub while she's shitting and we'll just, like, talk. It's no big deal.
See, I wouldn't have a problem with that because my wife has like the most horrific shit smells of all time.
Oh, now we're going into like personal stuff.
This is after
and
hours,
this is
baby.
hilarious, but you know.
I don't care, man. It's
funny.
horrible. I talk to her all the time about it's like, oh my god, did you poop? I can smell it outside in the fucking cul-de-sac. It's so bad. Is
that what I've been smelling here? And we're like a mile away from your house.
And you can probably smell her poop.
Wow, that's amazing.
Speaking of poop, lately I've been having like these really you know, like the tiny hard
Pellets?
little poops. Yeah, the pellets.
Rat poop.
Yeah, rat
not
poop.
rat. I mean rabbit poop.
Rabbit poop. So I've been having
Or like
those.
goats have that too. Where there's like pellets
just
falling out of there.
So I've been
Can't
having
you just
that.
picture the goat anus just dropping pellets out right now?
But I've been
I actually am a little bit. Yeah.
I've been sitting like on the toilet just like pushing and like nothing's coming. I sit there for like 15 minutes and all I get is like blip, 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 blip. And I'm like, oh, finally something, you know.
Making your own BBs.
Yeah. So then I figured it out is that Elena went to Wisconsin and she brought home all this bomb ass cheese.
Oh, yeah. There you
So
go.
I've been eating like I'm not a person that just eats cheese straight. Like, that's fucking gross to me. But these cheese curds from Wisconsin are so good that you can just, throw like 5 or 10 of them in your mouth and fucking good to go, like.
Throwing balls in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like fresh, super, like, good cheese. And then I've been drinking milk. And so then I'm like, can't shit, and I can't figure out why. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've just been like munching down on a shitload of cheese. And so it finally hit me like, oh yeah, maybe I should not, stand over the counter and shovel cheese curds in my mouth while I'm like trying to choke it down with milk.
Are the cheese curds, are they the fried ones? Or are they the ones that are just like little pieces? Like
no, they're just little pieces.
Okay.
So there's like jalapeno ones. She brought home a bag of jalapeno, a bag of habanero, and a bag of like garlic and dill or something like that, and they're super fucking delicious.
The dill thing is like, it's big time on like northern United States.
Yeah.
Like dill is like the flavor they love. They have like all the dill potato chips and all this. Just dill fucking everything.
Yeah.
Which is bomb, but I mean, it's a weird thing, weird cultural
When
thing.
I was eating it, I was like, you could just leave the dill out and I wouldn't even notice. Like, just give me that garlic.
Give me that cheese, dude. Oh, garlic. Don't even get me started on garlic.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking eat the shit out of garlic, dude. Yeah, garlic is good. Horseradish, all that kind of stuff. All those,
my god.
I've only recently been getting a horseradish for the last year.
My mouth started watering.
So this is the funny thing about this is what IPAs are for beer, where this flavor is so ridiculous, but you just love it. You want more of that bitter whatever. And even though it's is this a good beer? I don't know. I just want more. I want the strongest flavor possible.
Yeah.
That's what a horseradish or wasabi or garlic or any of those kind of whatever, roots, it does it. It does the trick, man. It's really
those tannins.
Yeah, all the tannins, dude. Release the tannins.
I blame Arby's for my horse. I didn't even know about horseradish until I tried their horseradish sauce.
Say it right.
Horsey sauce.
There you go.
Horsey sauce. I already love the Arby's sauce. I'm just a condiment addict.
So this is my thing. Is the beef and cheddars have that sweeter version of the same
that's
sauce.
just good.
And that is the bomb fucking
I did not know that they had.
Dude, it is beef and people. Okay, so this is the thing where I was younger. I would go order beef and cheddars, and then everyone else around me is ordering roast beefs.
Right.
And I'm like, why are you doing that? This one has an onion bun, and it has the sauce that you can't get on other things. I'm like, dude, does nobody understand? They'll get the roast beef with the cheese on it, and I'm like, yeah, that's halfway there. But then you got to understand, if you never had a beef and cheddar, you don't understand what it's like going to Arby's. This is why you go to fucking Arby's.
You used to go there all the time on the way to Potter games. You used to be able to get 5 beef and cheddar sandwiches for $5.
Oh,
no, not beef and cheddars.
No, you could.
It was 3 beef and cheddars for $5, and then 5 roast beefs.
But still, that was the deal. Now you can get 1 beef and cheddar, smaller than it was before, for $7.
I know.
Oh my god! But I want Arby's. It's good.
I know, dude.
God damn it! What the fuck?
Arby's some people hate that shit, and I don't get it because honestly, for fast food, that is the fucking bomb. I don't eat a lot of fast food. I eat out a lot. And, or order pizza or whatever, or Chinese, but I don't necessarily just go to Jack in the Box all the time or whatever. But Arby's is fucking amazing. Also, we live in San Diego, so Mexican food is our fast food.
Yeah.
So we can ignore the most fast food because you kind of just want a California burrito.
They fucking took the Arby's out of, our city.
Out of Santee?
Yeah. Oh, that was years ago.
No, I know, but I'm just saying,
but it was
the closest one is,
Grossmont College.
Grossmont College?
Not Grossmont College. Grossmont Center, excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, is there one there? Oh, there is one there.
On the
Yeah.
outskirts
You're right.
of it,
That's way closer to you, actually.
Where the Tux place is.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking of the one near Peppermint Swirl's old house, on the way.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that one is the one I normally go to. But yeah, you're right. That one's even closer. Shit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So, actually, that one's see the thing is the one from Peppermint Swirl's closer to me now because I'm on the east side, and then you guys are on the west side, so you guys are closer to the other one. Because I'm on the freeway's right there. I just drive the freeway and I get right to it. I'm only.
What time are they open to? I'm going to Arby's tonight.
half mile from the freeway each way. So.
I'm like trash, dude. I love Arby's. I love Taco Bell.
Nah, Taco Bell.
Oh, dude.
Del Taco all day over Taco Bell.
My family still makes fun of me for how much I ate Taco Bell as a little kid. It was.
Did I tell you about the shirt I got for Kelly?
No.
I got her a shirt that just says, "You had me at Taco Bell." I just saw it online and I'm like, this is a good, for your loved one gift. Just a stupid gift that she was like, oh my god, it's fucking ridiculous. It's
Will she ever actually wear it? Probably at home.
She'll wear it to the gym or something like that because it's ironic or she'll just wear it like to go to bed or something. It's not like she's gonna go fucking like wear it out. You know?
That's funny to wear it to the gym.
Yeah, that is funny.
No, this is one of my favorite t-shirts is one that just says "running sucks" and it's a runner's shirt, and it's just really funny to see someone running by and it just says "running sucks" on it. I'm like, that's great. I love that shit. You know,
Nice.
Eat that shit out. Nom 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 like Arby's. Nom 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 nom. Yeah. What else going on? We're not done yet. We got another 3 minutes of nothing cast.
Oh, dude, we weren't recording the whole time.
I'm gonna punch you in the fucking gut. Jesus Christ. That's not even funny.
I gotta stay here till like 1 in the morning to get this shit done and over with.